the championship. That's what starts today, trying to get to the MAC title and win it. Goal is still in front of both of these teams on a crispy, hot day. Still feels like summer, late 91-degree summer afternoon in DeKalb.
We in Michigan or Miami?
Right.
91 degrees. Are you kidding me?
There's Thomas Hammock, of course, an alum of Northern Illinois. We asked him, ballpark, how many texts, how many calls? I mean, how many letters, how many handwritten letters from alums, former teammates? The number was very high.
Well, look, it comes with the territory. If you're going to knock off one of the storied programs in all of college football, you got to accept all the love that comes with it, right?
Yeah, first conference game under Pete Lembo for Buffalo. Had a stint at Ball State, so of course familiar with the MAC. Cannon Whittle will kick us off. And back to return for Buffalo, Aljay Henderson, Terrence Shelton, Lamar Sperling, but we'll get a touchback to begin. This Buffalo team coming off a 34-3 win over UMass a week ago, beat Lafayette in week 1. Were shut out by a top-ranked Missouri team in week 2. And coming out, their new QB, CJ Agbana, won the job in camp. They felt like he's made great strides since the spring. Originally transferred in from Southeast Missouri State before last season. Atlanta native going up against a really experienced defense today.
Dynamic athlete who can hit you with his legs. He's an improving passer, though.
They'll roll out, little dump off to get him going. Able to connect with Taji Johnson. Gets cut down out on the edge. So a gain of 2 there on the opening play, and the tackle from Jayshon Prophet, who's going to play a key role for this NIU defense.
Well, key role because he's going to have to make tackles in the open field, and you saw right there, they're trying to get Agbana on the move. That's where he's most comfortable. I like it, though. Get him a little bit of an easy completion to get him going.
They want balance, go to the ground game on play 2. This is the kind of energy that Northern Illinois had right from the gates against Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. Roy Williams on the tackle there, coming off the edge, brings up 3rd down.
This is where the Bulls don't want to be. They don't want a consistent dose of 3rd and long. They want to be in 3rd and short situations to rev up that big offensive line. Let's see how Agbana takes on this crowd early in this atmosphere. He's got to be smart with this football.
Agbana's first 3rd down throw of the game, trying to set up a screen, in and out of the hands of Victor Snow. The intended target heard some footsteps creeping up, was Jaden Dolphin, and a good opening series for the newly ranked Northern Illinois Huskies.
Yeah, that was a terrific job by Marion Knighton as well, fighting through the block and making that a really tough catch. And obviously they want to get Snow the football. He's a dynamic athlete from the slot. Try to set up the screen, but again, Knighton did a hell of a job getting that ball on the ground.
Brings out an earlier punt than Buffalo wanted from the Aussie, Ethan Duane. Dane Partridge back to return. And the fair catch. Pretty good field position coming out for Northern Illinois on their opening offensive possession, trying to feed off what the defense did there. Ethan Hampton will come out, of course, longtime backup before earning the starting job heading into this year, and boy, did he earn it. Dreamt of being the NIU QB, and how about going into Notre Dame Stadium on the road? I mean, living the dream more than living the dream there.
Oh my God! First of all, look at the stash. I love the mustache. That's a
some
big
swag.
league. Yes, absolutely.
You deserve
big
some
league
swag
mustache.
after that one.
And no question about it. But they talked about the coaching staff. He earned this starting job, and now he's making them look like geniuses.
So calm, so poised. The redshirt junior, Illinois native. They'll hand it off on the opening play. Ontario Brown, who will play a pivotal role in the offense as well, gets swung down for a loss. Sean Dolak coming up to make the play. When you talk this Buffalo defense, Teoka, you talk Sean Dolak.
Yeah, get used to hearing his name because you're going to hear it a lot. Nobody gets more tackles in college football than number 52, Sean Dolak. He is going to be the guy getting off the pile more often than not. And when it's not him, it's his buddy, Red Murdoch. They're going to be all over the place today.
Has 43 tackles coming into today. You see most in the FBS. He was 2nd in the nation a season ago. Led the MAC. Quick throw for Hampton, incomplete. hit 8 different targets 2 weeks ago. So they like to spread it around in this offense. In the past, an offense that we have associated with running, but Ethan Hampton's been the most efficient passer in the FBS to this point in the season.
And one of the reasons is because of these short throws. You're going to see them do a lot of bubble screens, tunnel screens, really easy throws for these wide receivers, but they get them in movement and in open space, and they really make big plays one-on-one against DBs.
Yeah, 3rd and 14 here, trying to get it all. That is incomplete. Broken up over on the sideline. Really nice defensive play from Marquise Cooper.
Yeah, you called it. Man coverage on the outside, stick route. He understands exactly where the first down marker is. Does a great job of planning and reacting to this throw. Clean pocket, ball comes out on time, but that's how you get physical at the catch point. Beautiful job right there by Cooper.
Cooper's their shutdown corner. Victor Snow back to return this punt from Tom Foley. And a fair catch. How about a little defensive exchange through the first 2 possessions to begin MAC play for Northern Illinois and Buffalo.
Coach Gecko. Coach G.
Yeah.
First team in the history of the MAC Conference to get a win against a top 5 team. That's just not only historic for this program, but also the conference.
Agbana will pitch it here as they stretch it out with some blocks set up for Snow out on the edge. Try to use him in different ways. And to your point, you look at the MAC as a whole, Northern Illinois had not beaten a top 10 team either. They were 0-14 before that win a couple of weeks ago. Meant so much to Thomas Hammock. He was in tears, but like you said, got to flip the switch, and you're looking at this offense with Buffalo that's moving faster than they did a year ago. Oh, that could have been a big play. Stretching it out.
I think this is the theme for today. You got to be able to hit on big plays. There are going to be opportunities for both of these teams on the outside. You got a seam route. Wide open receiver, you got to hit them. That's going to be the difference in who wins or loses. Winning the moments. You don't know when the moments are coming, but when you have the opportunity, you got to win the moment. And I know CJ would like to have that pass back.
Wanted Al-Jay Henderson. Instead, it'll be 3rd and 3. They'll keep it this time, and the Huskies dropped him short.
Yeah, I think that was just a bad decision by CJ. That pitch needs to be thrown. When the men on the line of scrimmage takes you, the quarterback, you got to let that pitch go. I don't think there was anybody there for the pitch man, Al-Jay Henderson. Take a look at it. I mean, that pitch has got to be thrown. This is assignment football when it comes to option, but it's also assignments for the quarterback as well. He's got to read it and make the right decision.
Skylar Gill-Howard made the tackle. Dane Partridge back for the fair catch. And the offense gets set to come back out for Northern Illinois. They had a 3-and-out on their opening series. Defense responds again for Coach Hammock. Buffalo has had fast starts this season, but today, this defense for Northern Illinois holding them steady to begin.
Well, defensively, Buffalo has only given up 3 points all year in the first quarter. So far, so good defensively. But they've scored 20 points in the first quarter. So far, it's a 0. But if your defense comes to play, you have a chance to win games on the road.
It's a Bulls defense that has an interception in every game this season against a QB that's one of 3 in the MAC to not throw an interception so far. Brown straight ahead. Flag goes flying out. First time we've had a flag today. Dolak in the mix as per usual on the tackle.
And that's a guy they want to get going, Antario Brown. If you haven't seen him, boy, you're in it for a real treat. This is one of the best running backs.
Number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
Saying hello to referee Dave Siegel for the first time. Logan Schernitz hit with that penalty.
And he's one of their more experienced players, the center. They lean on him. But just to finish the point about Antario, you're looking at a guy who's one of the best running backs that no one's ever heard of. But he puts up numbers week in and week out. He's a very, very good football player in terms of being able to run the ball, but he can also catch the ball as well. We'll talk about that later on.
And he's running behind an O-line that combines for 119 career starts. It is experienced bulk up there behind running in front of him. They'll hand it off this time the opposite way, getting Rudolph involved for the first time, which they like to do in different ways, as you see right on cue there.
Well, he's an explosive player. He came in averaging 26 yards a catch, but they don't care how they give him the football as long as you get it to him in space, because he is a matchup nightmare defensively. And that is really might be a touchdown saving play by Sean Dolak. If he doesn't make that play hustling inside out, number 3 still running.
He threw the ball a couple of weeks ago, Rudolph. You never know what he's going to do.
They say he knows every spot on the field.
Opens up the playbook here on 2nd and 6. That was nearly bobbled. Now it does hit the deck. Hampton picks it back up, gets swung down by Murdoch. Could be a loss of a few yards here as Northern Illinois escapes some potential disaster, but it's going to set up 3rd and long.
As I talked to you about before, more often than not, when the play is over, you're going to say Sean Dolak, and when you don't, you're probably going to say Red Murdoch. And these two guys are best friends. They're great football players. They're great individuals, high football character. Murdoch is an all-MAC academic guy, and he's right behind Sean Dolak in terms of tackles. And look, they're the #1 tackle tandem in all of college football. They make a ton of plays, guys.
And to top it all off, they're roommates.
Yes.
Hampton will scoot out. 3rd and long. Might do it with his legs. He has room to get there and does. So first down comes on the legs on a 3rd and 11 for Ethan Hampton.
Well, look, nobody's going to get him mixed up with Lamar Jackson, but you still got to contain the guy. And take a look at the rush lanes. There's no containment from this Bull defense. And so, obviously, Ethan Hampton has his eyes open. If you're going to give me a soft corner, I'm going to work it. And if no one shows up, I'm going to run it for a 1st down.
Hey, Buffalo defensive coordinator Joe Bowen said we need to get exotic on 3rd down. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, defensively, on 1st and 2nd, they like to be basic and running the football. But on 3rd down, they like to change things up.
Oh, swing it out. Ontario Brown loves to get involved in the passing game. Kind of the way he talked about it when we asked him what he liked to catch the ball, too. He's basically said, I could be a receiver out there if I wanted to. Sometimes he's in the drills.
And they said he could play defense if he needed to as well. But to finish that point off about being exotic on 3rd down, they want to disguise their coverages. They want to get the quarterback thinking, not about necessarily his play, but also they want to get him thinking about what coverage they're in. And they will bring people as well. So they're pretty basic on 1st and 2nd down. They want to trick the quarterback on 3rd down.
Northern Illinois ranked for the first time since 2013. That ball deflected up at the line. He had intentions to get it to the 5th-year senior Trayvon Rudolph for the 2nd time today.
Yeah, I think that might have been C.J. Bazile who got his hands up. And as a defensive lineman, I don't like guys thinking about batting balls. I want them to think about rushing the passer. But if you're locked up with an offensive lineman and you have no chance of getting there, then you get your hands up. And that's exactly what C.J. did there, setting up another 3rd and long for this Husky offense.
Huskies bringing another receiver here on 3rd and 7, and Cam Thompson subbed out one of the tight ends, Jake Applegate. Hampton down the seam, has Thompson right on cue. Right into the game and right into the stat sheet.
Got him on the slant. Slant against off coverage. And that's all about timing. If the ball comes out when it's supposed to, you can't do anything about it if you're playing outside leverage as a corner. Easy pitch and catch there.
Hampton rolls out, promptly hit. This time was Grayson Barnes. Got stuck immediately. And Murdoch out there.
Wow. I mean, that's where you'd like to see Ethan Hampton sort of work the defense a little bit. He let that ball go a little bit too early. Go ahead and continue to run outside. There was no containment, and force these defensive players to make a decision. Should I come up and get the quarterback? Should I stay back? Then he could have developed something with that route. He got rid of that ball a little too early for me.
Finishing drives was an important part of the upset against Notre Dame. They're trying to creep up on the red zone here with Brown back to his legs, but right back into the arms of the Buffalo tacklers, and then the ball came out. Ball came out towards the tail end. We'll see who came out with it. Buffalo thinks they have it. Question mark will be, was he down before it came out? Officials coming
on
together.
The field, a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down.
All right. Wow. There it is. First turnover of the game. Right as Northern Illinois was getting towards the red zone, it's Jalen McNair who's able to scoop up the football And all of a sudden, momentum back to the team with the upset mind.
Well, first of all, watch number 5, Charles McCaughrins, come shut the edge. So that ball's got to come back inside to the cavalry, and the cavalry will always be there.
The ruling on the previous play of a fumble is under further review.
And to me, Jason, that looked like Sean Dolak that might have caused that thing. But like I said, you always want to turn the ball back to these inside backers. Murdoch and Dolak will be there if you turn it back to them. And I think, like I said, I think Dolak might have got that ball out. But it's going to be interesting to see if he was down, though.
Well, Dolak is always in there in some way or another, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're right here.
Always in the mix. You like players like that. They talked about how they watch film together.
Yep.
They have conversations ad nauseum about what's coming in the weekend. They bounce ideas off each other. And don't think they don't push each other as well. There's always subtle competition, even though they're roommates like you talked about. So watch the edge. Bam, right there. That ball has to come back in. And let's see when that ball comes out. Boy, that's close. Now just think of this. The call on the field is that it is a fumble, right? So you have to have irrefutable visual evidence that the call on the field is incorrect. There's Dolak attacking the football right there. Now, I'm looking right there. He looks like he's probably down. Now, the question is, was the ball wiggling and starting to come loose before Dolak gave that rip of the arm? And that's what's going to be hard to tell.
This angle might give you a slightly better look. And as you said, initial look from us up here in the booth is that it appears as though he's down.
Yeah. I just don't think I see anything that says that ball was wiggling. All the evidence I see visually is that that ball got pulled out after he was on his keister. Check it out. I think this is your best angle. Watch the ball come out after. Yeah, I think this is going to get overturned, Jason. I think this is Husky football. 2nd and 10.
Big call early in the game. You think about Northern Illinois, they'd be on the verge of a red zone trip. Buffalo, you see Thomas Hammock there. You and I were coincidentally, the last time a team upset Notre Dame on a major stage, it was Marshall a couple of years ago. We had Marshall the following week against Bowling Green, coincidentally a MAC team, and Bowling Green won that game. Thomas Hammock said the reason why teams lose after big upsets is
the runner was down prior to losing control of the football. It'll be 3rd down at the 30-yard line.
That's a great point. That's a great point, and they avoid one there. But I asked him about, hey, would you have liked to play the following week after that big win? Or do you like the fact that you had a bye week to reset? He said that was a timely bye week. I couldn't imagine having to come in and game plan and play a game after beating Notre Dame. Right? Everybody was on fire. Everybody's getting calls. Social media is going crazy. It was a great job to reset. But to your point, those turnovers because of lack of focus. Well, that's what the bye week did for them. It refocused this team to come out and play the way they did against Notre Dame, because if they do that every single week, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, gave them a couple of days off until Wednesday, that first bye week, then got back to work. Kind of did it NFL style, practice-wise.
Yep. I'd like to see the Huskies get back to this run game.
They will. Brown found a crease, such a patient runner. Now we'll set up 4th and about 3, maybe 4 here on a gain of 7.
Yeah, I think that's what, you got to get back to this run game. This is who you are. You're a running football team. This is where you stake everything on, being physical at the line of scrimmage.
Decision time here. 4th down. You like this call?
I do. I like going forward here. You're on the plus 23-yard line.
They clearly won 6 out of this drive.
Yeah, and you see them coming out and empty. Watch number 1 in the flat.
Dump it over the middle. Thompson. Caught and complete inside the 15.
Well, so I said watch number 1 in the flat, and that's exactly what the defense did. They ran Brown to the flat, and it allowed Thompson to get open, just running a little bit of a hook. But it cleared out because of Brown.
Yeah, they started to really see Cam Thompson, his confidence bloom in the spring. Ohio native. Couple of catches so far in this MAC opener. Back to Brown, pirouettes through traffic. Typically the first man doesn't take him down, especially when you go too low.
Yeah, 5'10", 219, but really strong in the legs. And they talked about it. His best football is ahead of him. I mean, this guy's an NFL back when you watch the tape, it's easy to see it. He's got everything you need. He's got quickness. He's got a burst. The first guy doesn't tackle him, which is really important, and he's got great hands. He's versatile. He can run routes out of the backfield. He loves to split out and run those routes and catch against DBs.
Got that big offensive line, a lot of couple of fullbacks in there. Hampton will dish this one out. Made an improvisation play, and they got something out of it over along the sideline. Justin Lynch on the grab.
Well, this is the type of play that I talked about before. Ethan is going to hold the football. That allows things to get a little bit more defined. If he throws that early, they got nothing. He held it. He forced the eyes of the defense to come to him and allowed his back, Lynch, to get open on the outside and makes a heck of a throw under duress.
So now again, you got this heavy set formation. One of your fullbacks in there on 3rd and 2. They can get the first down without the touchdown, but Brown, he wins the touchdown!
When you hand the ball deep in the backfield to Brown, he's got vision, Jason. He can see and run with his eyes. Bouncing it outside because it's a soft corner. You got to get it up the field and turn that ball back, because if you don't, number one will find the goal line.
Whittle comes out for the extra point. And Northern Illinois escapes disaster with a near fumble that was overturned. And ultimately they take advantage, turn it into points. And Terrio Brown, with the end zone on his mind, picks up the touchdown, his second of the season. Texas A&M hosting Bowling Green at 7:30 Eastern. And then it's Arch Manning making the start for Texas, #1 team in the country, against Louisiana Monroe. That's at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. To get ESPN Plus, go to plus.com or download the ESPN app. Arch Manning stepping in for Quinn Ewers, who's still recovering. That'll be interesting to watch with #1 Texas here in DeKalb. It's number 23, Northern Illinois, ranked for the first time since 2013 in their MAC opener against Buffalo. Northern Illinois hasn't started 3-0 in a decade. They're off to a 7-0 start. With 5:14 to go in this opening quarter, Jason Ross Jr., Tyoka Jackson, our awesome ESPN crew behind the scenes. And Buffalo lets that sail into the back of the end zone for the touchback.
And we told you Buffalo had only given up 3 points in the first quarter all year. And so now NIU has more than doubled that. So I think it's really important that the Bulls come back and answer. All right, you don't necessarily have to get a touchdown on this drive, but I think it's important not to go 3 and out and put the defense back on. And it's a hot day, right? You don't want to wear your defense out. You've got to start to string together some first downs. And then they had an opportunity to hit a big play. They missed it. When that opportunity shows, they got to get it done.
Buffalo, it seemed, with a lot of new faces, 18 transferred in, 35 freshmen. A lot of these players playing in their first MAC game this afternoon. Agbano with a quick adjustment at the line. They'll run it, but right into the teeth of the NIU interior. Christian Furman came down to make the play.
A lot of penetration up front. There was nowhere to run that football. Roy Williams was up inside, 3 yards deep. You can't run anything. They're just trying to run really an inside zone. But there is no zone to run through if defenders are going to be 3 yards in the backfield.
A lot of those guys, Northern Illinois' defensive line, put an emphasis on bulking up weight-wise. It's not the hugest defensive line in the world, but they're quick. Empty backfield this time for Agbana. Pocket collapsing in, just has to throw this away. Again, credit the defensive line for that. Jelani Williams was up in his face.
You talked about the size of these guys. Buffalo's averaging per man 6'4.5", 314. And NIU is just under 6'3", 279. So that's really a 40-pound difference, right? But the big difference also, the Huskies are quick. And so you don't want to get into obvious passing downs like they're in right now, because you're playing right into this defense's hands.
Right into this crowd's hands. On 3rd and 10, Agbana drops it off. Got it into the hands of his target, Jaquez Barksdale, who was able to work his way up, but short of a first down.
Well, that's an excellent pass rush by this Husky defense, and Agbana putting the ball at risk a little bit, stepping up into the pocket. But I do like the dump off, and that's a tough tackle right there. Barksdale, he's tipping at 230 pounds, so not surprised he's running through tacklers, almost gets the first down, ends up 3 yards short.
Pierce Opong finished it off. Now Dane Partridge can go back to return this punt. High boot from the Aussie. Dwayne opts to return it. It swung down promptly at about his own 28. And the Northern Illinois offense that found themselves in the end zone in their last drive. Same goal when we come back.
Are you ready to rule the realm with it?
I mean, these are two of the most fun linebackers to watch in the country.
No question about it. If you want to see guys hustle to the football, and when they get there, make the play, you're watching the right two guys. As I mentioned before, the #1 tackling tandem in America early in the season. I guarantee you at the end of the season, they'll be right at the top as well.
Fantastic crowd today here at Husky Stadium, as anticipated after their biggest win in program history a couple of weeks ago over Notre Dame. Hampton looking for his first deep shot of the game. One-on-one downfield, but incomplete. Wanted everything and some more there with Rudolph.
Boy, he had him. I mean, everything was perfect. The operation was a success, but the patient died. Beautiful play action, sucking the entire defense up. You got man coverage, again, down the seam with your most explosive wide receiver, and you're literally just about 1.5 inches off.
Charles MacArthurans was trying to catch up step by step. And you're breathing a sigh of relief with the speed of Rudolph. Bring a man in motion, decoy for the Brown run. Flag comes out. Murdoch on the tackle. See what the call is. David
Personal
Siegel,
foul.
our referee.
Hands to the face. Defense, number 91. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
They get Devin Morgan there.
Yeah, young Devin. I've known Devin since he was 10 years old, and he's really come a long way mature-wise. But yeah, he got his hands up in the face mask, trying to slingshot around the offensive lineman. I know what he's thinking. He thought he was grabbing the inside of the shoulder pads, right up under the neck. And sometimes you get those hands a little high. If you play lower, you can get those hands lower. You know, not intentional, but foul nonetheless.
So sets up 1st and 10 for the Northern Illinois offense. Allows them to go back to their bread and butter, the ground game. Buffalo anticipating it. First man to get there was Dolak.
So what makes these linebackers so special is not just that they rack up a lot of tackles, but they get a lot of TFLs. 52 is a downhill linebacker. He's not going to sit back and wait. And he's an ex-running back. He understands holes. So when he sees the hole open, he's going to meet the running back on the other side of the line of scrimmage more often than not, man. I just really enjoy watching him play.
We enjoyed talking to him the other day. Former walk-on, 0 stars out of high school. No offers, walked on at Buffalo. Hometown kid. Has loved every minute of his career in the Bulls uniform. Oh, what a tackle from behind there. And coming around to make the play. It was Jalen McNair.
He plays that nickel position. And that's a nickel is like a hybrid safety corner, right? And when you get everybody blocked up front and Dolak and Murdoch's not making a play, you usually have a free hitter. And that free hitter, more often than not, is going to be that nickel position, a guy who can come down in the box and make plays when he has to, but also has the ability to cover. Nice job by McNair. It's man coverage, Jason.
And McNair stayed home that time, trying to make another tackle. He does out of the edge, but this will be right up near that first down marker on the Rudolph catch, and it will be a first down.
So we talked about getting exotic on third down as they go with some pace, but that motion lets Ethan Hampton know it's man coverage. He knows exactly where to go with the football. When you are playing man coverage and they send guys in motion, you're giving the quarterback answers to the test before the test is given. He knows where he wants to go given the coverage.
Tackle made by Murdoch. They give it to Williams, gain of 3 inside of plus territory. And then a flag comes in behind the play.
This Bull coaching staff talked about Murdoch being their biggest hitter. I mean, this guy will really strike you.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 18, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, Buffalo head coach Pete Lembo won't like that. That's the kind of thing, the self-inflicted mistake you can't make when you're trying to get your second ever win over a ranked team. There's Pete Lembo, his first year as head coach of Buffalo, one of the winningest coaches on the FCS level of all time during his run at Elon and Lehigh. Also coached at Ball State, so not his first run in the MAC. Under a minute to go in this opening quarter. That penalty backs up his defense. Hampton trying to roll out away from pressure. He does. Another flag comes flying in. Opposite side of the field this time. Red Murdoch made the tackle out on the edge.
What a silly penalty by Crawford, though, to play before. And they talked about he's their dark alley guy. He's the guy that if you're going in a dark alley, you want to take one player. It's definitely number 18, but you got to do it between the whistles. And a headbutt after the play is over. I mean, that's just not very smart.
Offense, number 3, 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
All right, so kind of starting to go back and forth a bit between the penalties. This one will set Northern Illinois back. You see Pete Lembo, he said his team wasn't worried about the energy they would come out with in this one.
Yeah, he
don't need to match it.
Yeah, exactly. He felt very good about how these guys have been responding all year. You know, even when they were playing a good top 10 Mizzou team, he thought they fought all the way to the end, making adjustments, playing hard. He has no problems with how they're going to play from an add-to standpoint. As you see another flag, it's going to be probably a legal formation.
Offense, number 80 was lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now that's interesting, Jason, because usually they will warn a guy when he lines up there. So that tells me they've warned either the team or the actual player, Jay Applegate, before. Because if they're going to blow it that quickly, they've already warned them once.
All right, so now they've been set way back to what might look like a 1st and 20-ish now.
That's the end of the first quarter.
1st and 21, and they're going to wind down the opening quarter. Northern Illinois up 7-0 after the Ontario Brown touchdown here in DeKalb. They added another victory to the Boneyard a couple of weeks ago. Buffalo coming in here upset-minded, looking for a big stop when we come back in the second quarter. Crowd knows it here at Husky Stadium. Northern Illinois' last MAC title came in 2021. Have a lot of players, quite a few that were on that team still on the roster, setting up in plus territory, but on 1st and 21, getting a good chunk of that yardage back with the legs of Ontario Brown. Got pretty much all the penalty yardage back.
As I said, if you're not familiar with his work, you're going to enjoy this. The vision, the patience. He's got great feet, and he's elusive. He makes people miss in the hole. That's rare. Open field, a lot of guys can make people miss. In the hole, generally, when you're one-on-one, some guys can't get it done, but I guarantee you number 1 can.
I like that you said if you're not familiar with his work, because he told us, I love the art of football. Like he does his artwork with the running game.
Yes.
Put it up on the canvas in the museum. the Ontario Brown Museum. This time a direct snap for Brown. There's another Picasso to add to his mix.
He's the fastest guy on this offense, but it's important when you're a fast guy to play with patience. A lot of times fast guys like to get up to that line of scrimmage too quickly. They don't allow their offensive linemen to work the blocks and allow the holes to open, but you'll see patience from Brown. So again, slow to the hole, fast through it, and if it's someone showing up, he's either going to run through that tackle for extra yards or make the guy miss.
Talking with his head coach, who also played running back for Northern Illinois.
And coached a ton of great backs, and we'll talk about that as this thing goes on, but he thinks Brown compares favorably to most of them.
Hampton, plenty of time, on-time throw, and complete over along the sideline. They'll be about a couple of yards short here as he found Grayson Barnes on the connection.
Well, I'm telling you right now, the Bulls defense is lucky that he got rid of that to Barnes, because they had a receiver break open late behind Barnes because the defender fell down. And I'm not faulting Hampton for throwing it to Barnes. You take what the defense gives you, but there was something behind him that could have ended up in 6 points. Instead, they'll go for 3.
So now Cannon Whittle, who hit the go-ahead, what turned out to be game-winning field goal with 32 seconds left in the Notre Dame game. Had plenty of leg on that, but it is off the mark.
Wow.
So we remain 7-0. Buffalo catches a break, and now their offense comes back out on the other side. Buffalo, assistant on the South Carolina staff the last few years. Second quarters haven't been kind so far to his offense. Defensively, Northern Illinois has been excellent in the second quarter. So if you're Buffalo, trying to flip that script around here in the MAC opener.
Well, they got the stop right there, no point, so that's a good start to it. And just to add more to it, and NIU is plus 31 in all of second quarters this season, and Buffalo's minus 18. So what can Buffalo do to manufacture points? And I think it's going to really come down to trying to take their shots down the field. They've been great at hitting 50-50 balls so far this season.
They want to win one-on-one matchups. They have one over the seam, complete for a big first down. On the catches, Victor Snow. They're really fast wideout. And a New York native who began his career in Nevada, then transferred back hometown about 90 minutes from Buffalo.
And he's excellent out of the slot. Because of his small size, you put him in the slot, and the DBs have to back off. And when he's got space, he can make things happen.
Mike Bonnet does a great job of studying defenses during the week, looking for holes. They found one that time, then trying to carve his way up the sideline is Lamar Sperling on the catch this time. Redshirt freshman from Akron, Ohio. He had 16 carries, 86 yards last week. Former Mr. Ohio football. Put up video game numbers in high school.
Yeah, incredible high school player. He was the USA Today National Offensive Player of the Year. But his production is historic in Ohio high school football history. So his future as just a redshirt freshman, boy, is really bright.
Had 59 touchdowns his senior year of high school. Just ridiculous stuff.
Senior year.
59 more than I had my senior year. So this time the Northern Illinois defensive line was ready for the run game on 2nd and 4 with Sperling again. So we'll see what the decision here will be. Davis made the tackle, so now if you're Buffalo, what are you going to right now?
Well, first of all, I think his Husky defense was angry that we were talking about that young freshman. But I think what here's going to come down to, first of all, the protection, right? You have got to block this front and give CJ a chance to read it out. If you're CJ, you're looking for your second, maybe third option, and don't be afraid to run if it shows up. And it looks like the Huskies are coming.
They are. O'Malley was on the pressure. Snow on the catch. Dropped short of a first down and outside of field goal range. So another interesting decision coming up here. It'll be 4th and maybe a yard and a half.
Wow, I think this is very aggressive. That's a really good job of one-on-one tackling against a tough tackle in snow and space. But this is a very aggressive call here by Buffalo. Do you put it in your quarterback's hands on the move? I would.
They want his legs to be involved. Instead, they hand it off to Barksdale. And did he get there? No signal just yet as to where they're marking this, but now it appears as though they are going to give him the 2 yards he needed for the first down. So a gutsy call pays off.
No question, and the officials are making you work for your money. They moving the chains without giving the signal, though. But again, really nice job of handing it off to your big back, 230 pounds, and let him go make it happen for you.
Brought Taji Johnson in motion to block, then moving that pile of jerseys up ahead. So you see trying to lay that groundwork and imprint on first down with the ground game.
Yeah, 35 pounds per man is the difference in the size. We talked about that. I think you got to give this offensive line a chance to really get that groove by calling more run plays, and then that will really aid CJ with his play action pass.
Here's the pass right off play action as you anticipated there, and able to complete it with J.J. Jenkins.
Yeah, he's excellent with the RPO. That's a run-pass option where the entire offense thinks it's a run except for he and the receiver, and that takes a lot of timing. Watch that ball come out, though. Beautiful, and then almost incomplete, but guess what? Almost doesn't count. Nice job of digging that ball out by J.J. Jenkins.
All right, so how about the missed field goal for Northern Illinois? And now Buffalo moving back the other way off momentum. A fourth down call at what felt like an important time to do that. Now Agbana steps up into a collapsing pocket and goes down. Gonna lose about a yard here. Opong made the tackle.
Outstanding play by Opong. He gets up the field to rush the passer, sees that it's a draw, and comes back at the level of the quarterback. A lot of inexperienced players would have kept running around the corner, Jason, and allow that to be an easy run for the quarterback. He comes back, retraces his steps, and makes a play on the quarterback. It's a TFL. Great job.
A second quarter that has not been the Bulls' quarter this season, but they're trying to make it their quarter on this drive.
Very important play here. You've got to get a nice chunk to set yourself up for third and manageable.
Screen set up. They want to go to Barksdale. Tried to get the edge. Didn't have much real estate to operate out there. Val Carcel, a really good safety from Wisconsin, made the play.
Well, that was set up by an inaccurate throw by Agbana. He wants that ball going towards the line of scrimmage. He forced his receiver, Barksdale, to have to do a pirouette. That takes away all of his momentum. He has to turn his back to the defense, turn back around and get set. And by that time, if you've got a fast, hustling defense like the Huskies are, it's going to be hard to get positive yards. Now it's 3rd and long.
You're in Upton Bellenfant's field goal range, but they have a mindset of trying to tie it down here.
Agbana should not be greedy here.
Stays patient. Tough throw. Broken up. Incomplete. Over on the sideline. Amarian Knighton was there to break things up.
A very smart player. And they said he's really worked on his body. He's gained 10 pounds of muscle. He's a lot more physical than you think. I'd like to see the receiver work back to the quarterback. Don't stop. Work back. Keep coming back. Taji Johnson, you make that catch if you keep working yourself back. I know what he's thinking. He wants to be at the sticks, but you got to come back and make the catch first.
All right, so Buffalo made a kicker switch last week. Upton Bellenfant came in for Nick Reed. It was a kicker competition in camp. Can they hit this time? Upton Bellenfant does to put some Bulls points on the board. 7-3. The 6th season, and to wrap up today, Bowling Green hosts Old Dominion. Little MAC Sunbelt crossover there at 5 p.m. So you can catch all that action on ESPN+.
You know, MAC is the most stable of all the conferences. We see a lot of changes around the country, but not the MAC. The MAC has all of its current members being together since 1999, and you talked about UMass will be joining, so that'd be the first change in a long, long time. But the brand of the MAC is real. Tough, hard-nosed football. They produce a ton of NFL players. It's good football being played in the MAC.
Conference opener. Been a lot of fun to this point. Bellenfant will boot this one away once again for a touchback. Again, a lot of exchanges, particularly on kickoffs. Frustration, words being exchanged, more flags came flying out there. The teams can't seem to get off the field without interacting with each other, crossing paths.
Yeah, and it's a lot of penalties when the play is not going on.
No, I think the
Post-snap.
refs seem to have enough of it there.
Yeah, I mean, and this is going to cost somebody something huge if they continue with this shenanigans. I mean, it's unforced errors from either side.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Kicking team, number 15, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, first down.
I mean, just really silly stuff. So look near the 40-yard line, bottom of your screen. Just, look, from that angle, I couldn't tell 100%, but the official was right on it. So I'm wondering, was a punch thrown? Was it a late sort of shove?
That's what it appeared to be. So
right?
Savion Brown gets hit with it, and it's a big penalty. It moves this Northern Illinois drive to start at the 40. Quick dump off. They like to work in these tight ends. The ball came out towards the tail end, but looked like runner might have been down.
Ruling on the field as the runner was down prior to the ball coming out. Second down.
Oh, they're going to take a look at that. You got to make sure that ball wasn't wiggling. And again, it's Dolak again. He's going to be where he needs to be. I can best believe that. Is the ball getting pulled out? And look, hey, partner, I don't know.
It was closer than it looks on the first. Tristan Tavis had it, lost it.
And that was Jalen McNair coming in late and pulling that ball out. And they've got to take a look. From the angle we just saw, that's a fumble.
The runner was down prior to the ball coming out. That play is under further review.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's a recovery by the Bulls.
And you're also not mistaken that it was McNair who recovered what they thought was a fumble the last time.
Right.
That one got overturned.
There's the tackle. Now watch number 8 coming in and pull that ball out. Might have got a tiny bit of the face mask, but that ball to me is out before the knees are down. I want to see it again. The ball is definitely out. Let's take a look at the knees and see which taps first. The ball, that angle right there, we can't tell, but it looked honestly like a fumble again. I've seen nothing that says not a fumble.
Looking for a knee.
That ball's out.
The shin to go down, and it is out.
That's out.
And look where it would set Buffalo up in plus territory.
Yeah, so we talked about how this thing is looked at by the officials. The call on the field is that it was not a fumble, that the runner was down. So you have to have irrefutable visual evidence that the call on the field was incorrect. And I think you just saw that multiple times. So that's a huge play by a hustling Jalen McNair. And, you know, we talked about Dolak being a very consistent tackler, right? But you can have a tendency to, actually, that wasn't McNair. Was that 8 or 18 who pulled that ball out? Let me get that right, because that might have been Crawford. That's actually Deion Crawford. Let's get that squared away. There it is right there, attacking the football. I think he got his thumb on the face mask first. And you see that knee. The question is that, and see, that ball is out before the knee hits. The ball, all you need to see is the ball wiggling. And that right there, that ball's out. There's no knee down. What a play by Deion Crawford. Let's get that right. And he owes the defense because he got the personal foul earlier. Remember that. And they said this guy is as tough as it gets.
You ask every coaching staff, who's your back alley guy? Who's the tough guy you take in an alley? They said it's Deion Crawford, and he's the one with the tough, potentially punch out here to give Buffalo the ball back at what would be about Northern Illinois' 40.
And what I love about it, though, when you make a mistake with that big penalty he had, you need to pay back your defense and your team. And I like the fact that he did not sulk. He did not turn within himself. He decided he was going to go make a play for his team.
After further review, the ball was fumbled prior to the runner being down. It was recovered by Buffalo. 1st and 10.
Well, there it is. Flip the charts, partner. I mean, another momentum shift that Buffalo's trying to take advantage of. The name of the game for their defense has been forcing turnovers. They've now done it in every game this season.
No question about it. I mean, it's hard to play straight up defense. Down in and down out, driving and drive out. You got to make plays for your offense to set them up. And it would not shock me one bit if we see some sort of play action shot being taken, because Buffalo loves to throw the 50-50 ball, and it appears to have man coverage on the outside.
They'll opt to keep it on the ground, but you wonder if they go to the air on the next play, as the D-line for Northern Illinois was ready to push him back. Right now, you'd think just outside of field goal range here for Buffalo, but they're thinking about taking the lead.
And you see them going with some tempo here, but they got to take advantage of this field position. You don't get opportunities very often against quality opponents on the road. You've got to pay this off with points, 100%.
Quality opportunity, big stage in this game against a ranked opponent. They go back to Barksdale. Going to be 3rd and long here. Devontae O'Malley on the tackle.
Well, to me, this is just a little too conservative. I mean, you run, 3rd down pass. That's what you're setting yourself up for. You're getting man coverage, and how do I know? Because every time they run motion, there's a player moving with the motion. You've got man beaters. You've shown it on tape. Plus, you got a dynamic athlete. You can get him on the move. I just think it's been a little conservative here on 1st and 2nd down.
See what they try to do here. Pocket collapse. Ball came out. Flag one flying out. Northern Illinois recovers. If they rule it a fumble, O'Malley has it. Huskies think they have it.
And this is what I'm talking about. When you go run pass, the defense knows exactly what's coming.
Offense, number 73. The penalty is declined. Ruling on the field, a turnover. 1st and 10 for Northern Illinois.
Nave Sanders, undersized defensive end, only 220 pounds, number 28, but he's 6'4", long and athletic. And you're saying, obvious pass, just go get the passer. You don't have to do anything else. What a beautiful inside charge. They're running a game, and he splits the gap and makes a play on the quarterback. But when you have a big offensive line who has a size mismatch, but they are behind the 8 ball with quickness, if you go run and don't get anything out of it, you're setting yourself up for exactly what happened.
That's a move from the defensive lineman I know you love.
Oh, yeah.
Hang it in the loop. All right, so Northern Illinois takes the ball right back. Penalty didn't hurt him whatsoever. Now they go to Rudolph looking for the edge. Gets up to the 50.
Well, it's a very slick play. I love the design on that, where you fake to the first guy going strong side. Usually it's a reverse coming back the other way, but no, they take it out of the belly of one guy and give it to Rudolph going in the same direction, so the first fake becomes a lead blocker. But what an outstanding job by the entire Bull defense running to the football. You can make all kinds of mistakes, but it can get erased with hustle and attitude, and boy, these Bulls play a lot of great defense just because of that.
Yeah, the pursuit is incredible. It's a defense that's going to put them in positions to win week in and week out this year in the MAC. And meanwhile, Northern Illinois is trying to run right through it with Ontario Brown. Brown had 1,300 yards last season, picks up 4 there. A guy who was originally committed to South Carolina, decommitted from there. NIU had stuck with him throughout the entire recruiting process, found a home, and he's been here all the way through.
Well, he averaged 6.1 a carry, which is outstanding last year. He comes into this game averaging 6 yards a carry, so that's what he is. You give it to him consistently enough. Like most great backs, they get into a groove, and he's going to get you 6 yards.
Gave him the David Montgomery comparison, Lions running back. I like the comparison.
High praise.
Style-wise, I like it. Try to swing it out at intentions for Grayson Barnes. The design was there, the execution wasn't quite.
Yeah, that's surprising because Hampton, he's completed 72% of his passes, and it's passes like that where he usually doesn't miss. And you see tempo from this Husky offense with the offense on the field with 4th and 5.
You're right. They're keeping him out there. 4th and 5. See if they try to draw him off sides possibly here.
And I wouldn't be shocked if there's a quick kick either. I mean, you have nobody deep for this Bull defense. You can punt this football if Hampton has that ability and pin him.
He does. They did that a couple of weeks ago against Notre Dame. And right on cue, it's exactly what they do again this week. Trying to flip the field position. Not only can he throw it, he can punt it and place it at the 1.
That is beautiful play calling, and the execution was perfect.
Cam Thompson pounced on it. So a little punt, quick punt to your receiver who downs Buffalo at the 1. And welcome back to DeKalb. Jaquez Barksdale trying to create some breathing room for this Buffalo offense, they did lose a yard, so you are backed up in some scary territory right now against a defensive line in Northern Illinois that's been coming after you.
Yeah, look, you've got man coverage on the outside. It takes a very courageous person to go play action on a deep shot. I wouldn't do it.
Playing it safe. Goes down at the 1 again.
If you're the Husky defense, you're just going to play run. And if you're the Bull offense, you're going to just run the dive. You don't even want to run it deep. Really short handoffs to try to get this ball out of the end zone. Give as much room as to your opponent as you can. You don't want his heels, if you can help it, on the end line when he's punting the football. There are times, Jason, when to take your shot and be aggressive. This is not one of them. This is about ball security and getting the inches going forward, not big plays.
Down 4, creeping up on the 2-minute timeout.
Smart to move the tailback up. That's smart.
Got hit hard. We'll see where he lands. Barksdale did a great job of spinning forward to keep himself outside of that goal line. And now here's where he'll punt it and try to create some space with Ethan Duane.
You see how he shifted up, though? You see Barksdale shifted up and got next to his quarterback. It would have been a disaster to hand that football off to a deep tailback. Nice job of shifting up. Smart call. Try to get as much as you can.
So now the punter, Duane, will head out. What we've been told is timeout Northern Illinois, which, you know, you think about the timeout situation right now. With the 2-minute timeout, you technically still have 3 left, even though you took this one.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
Yeah.
Just trying to create value, thinking that UB would have run that clock down to the 2-minute timeout.
You're right.
That way you just, 20 seconds for a timeout. I think that's good value.
And you're going to get some really good field position potentially here. I mean, Dane Partridge is lined up right now at the Buffalo 40. Duane's definitely trying to back him up.
If he executes this right, it should be no punt return whatsoever.
That ball may have slightly gone off the side of his foot. Partridge will take it ahead to the 35 with plenty of time left. Northern Illinois crowd likes it.
So that's exactly what UB didn't want to happen. You want a nice sky ball to come in somewhere around the -45, force or 40, force a fair catch. You don't want any type of return in that situation. So now, if you're Northern Illinois, you don't have to do anything fast. You don't need a big play. You can run your base offense here. Running the football is a great option. And in fact, I think they need to get Brown involved a little bit more on in this running game. The clock will not be a factor with 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute stoppage time.
One of Ethan Hampton's mindset is business as usual. They're trying to make this a business drive to close out the half. Flags do go flying here. The way that tackle came in, you're thinking possibly horse collar here.
No question.
Which is an emphasis this year. Would be a gain of 8 for now. Jalen McNair made the tackle, but was it a legal tackle?
Yeah, it was right in front of the official. I think that's an easy call. He had his hands on the back. The question is, did he get enough of a yank? His hand was back there. There's no question about it. Did he get the pull? Was that the impetus for the tackle? Because that's when it becomes dangerous. You see a lot of knee injuries, ankle injuries from running backs and wide receivers being pulled down from behind. It's a point of emphasis, and it should be.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the defense. Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Defense, that penalty is declined. Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 8. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So the penalties are starting to mount against this UB team. And there's the pull on the jersey. So they've gotten 6 flags against them. 2 of them been declined. So 4 official penalties. And then you see the penalty yards there just mounting.
We've hit the 2-minute timeout. Northern Illinois trying to close the half on a high note. Penalties starting to mount up here at the wrong time for Buffalo as Northern Illinois is trying to punch this in here with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Well, it's a timely graphic by the guys in the truck, but it's a little misleading only in that it's actually been 6 penalties. They've only accepted 4. But look at the yardage disparity. I mean, that's terrible. Almost 60 yards of first half penalty yardage.
This is the bulk lineup behind that offensive line with a ton of starts back, and Brown hits the end zone for the 2nd time in the half.
This is NIU, quintessential Husky football. They bring big people in, and they want to challenge you at the line of scrimmage. And when you got one of the best backs in America with his vision and patience, he's going to find it a little loosey-goosey with that football, but he goes the chucks the deuces because you know that was an easy touchdown once he had the cutback. But it's the vision. This guy's the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, setting a career high of 126 receiving yards, 225 all-purpose against Notre Dame. So he was the guy, but man, what a terrific running back he is, Jason. And watch the vision. The cutback. A lot of players, again, can go where the ball's supposed to be, but do they have the patience to pick and choose when the front side's not there? He can put them up and put them down, folks, as well as anybody. He's going to find where the gap is, and when he sees it, he exploits through the crack.
And Terrio had an 83-yard touchdown in the opening series against Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. We asked him, what's it like feeling that breeze running through Notre Dame Stadium? It's just an unreal feeling for him, electrifying, set the tone for what happens at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend a couple of weeks ago. And he set the tone on the ground once again today, back in front of his home fans that love him here in DeKalb.
Well, Thomas Hammock has coached a lot of great football players. He was at Wisconsin, and he coached Monty Ball there, was a really sensational player at Wisconsin, 2nd-round pick of the Broncos, and he said Brown is one of the best players he's had at that position.
Pretty short kickoff.
Live
Takes
ball.
a hop. It is a live ball. And Northern Illinois thinks they should have this. We're going to get the signal. Still awaiting it as the referees converge. It is going to be Buffalo football.
Well, if no one gets control of the football before it goes out of bounds, then that is definitely Buffalo football. You've got to possess it inside and in bounds if you are the Huskies, if they want that football. Man, scary. Excellent kick, though. Just outside of numbers, but doesn't go out of bounds. Wow, they are lucky. That's where you want one of your up-backs to come over and field that ball. The problem is the up-backs for UB, for the most part, are linemen. They don't want nothing to do with that ball.
Prior to going out of bounds, however, it did go out of bounds. So by rule, it belongs to the receiving team at the 21-yard line. First down.
Like you said, never possessed. It was that hop. You know, before the returner could even try to get it to run up to it, it caused that collision.
Please adjust the game clock to 1:54, 1:54. Thank you.
And what you'd like to see is the return man have a call to tell the up back to take it, because they're looking to make blocks. They're not even looking at the football. You want to see a call be made and someone come over and field that with a fair catch.
So now really important drive for Buffalo. And on the grounds, they go to Al-Jay Henderson. Al-Jay Henderson, the running back for Buffalo, wearing the number 41 today, which is a meaningful number in the Buffalo program. Typically wears number 5, but each game they have a different player wear the number 41 to honor the legacy of Solomon Jackson, who passed away in 2016. They go right back to Henderson there. Tackled out on the perimeter.
Tackle for loss.
Yeah.
I mean, that play hurt right there. That was a great job of getting 9 yards on first down. They lose 1.5 yards on second down with a flare pass.
80 seconds to go in the opening half, and brought down in the backfield is Agbana. Nave Sanders came up to make the play.
Yeah, they can't block Sanders on the outside. He's too quick.
Timeout. Northern Illinois, their second and a half. Please adjust the game.
Speed rush on the outside, folks. Great job of chopping that outside arm. We used to call it Dent move. Richard Dent, Google him. Hall of Famer, Chicago Bears, not far from here. Beautiful job of chopping that outside arm and turning a corner. And when you got a quickness mismatch, don't play heavy. Line up outside, play to your strengths. He's only 220 pounds. Well, how can you get away playing edge at 220? You play on the edge. And when it's obvious passing downs, you got to show up. And so far, Sanders is doing a great job of that.
So this defense, again, they've seemingly stepped up in each big moment, and now the punting unit comes back out for Buffalo. Still got a minute 15, one timeout left if you're Northern Illinois, and might have some good field position here to try to tack onto this lead.
First of all, they need an excellent punt by Ethan here. No more bad punts.
Smart, fair catch from Partridge.
So first part of this deal, complimentary football, is getting a punt. Great job of forcing the fair catch. Now, if you're the UB defense, you've got to come up big now. This is a critical moment in this ball game where you cannot allow any points. Think of this, Jason. NIU gets the ball to start the second half, right? So this is a really critical drive. They've got to get off the field without the scoreboard changing if you're the Buffalo Bills. Or Bulls, excuse me. Bills, what am I thinking of football?
They grew up watching the Bills in Buffalo.
That?
So now, big run. You wonder about the legs right now, though, of the Bulls.
Yeah.
They've been on the field more often than not.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you don't get first downs on offense, it affects the defense. So not only do you need to move the football offensively, score points and all of that, you also got to give your defenders an opportunity to catch their breath and rest. Too many 3-and-outs offensively. And so, yeah, the Bulls defenders are sucking wind a little bit.
Gavin Williams, the running back in the game now. He had 59 yards a couple of weeks ago, so very capable backup. You see here, again, moving the legs pretty easily, and now that bulky offensive line up front is starting to lead the way.
We talk about skill position guys and quarterbacks getting in a rhythm. Well, offensive linemen get in rhythms as well. And the play calling is allowing that.
Charles McCarthurin's made the tackle, but Hampton all day to throw, dumps it off over the middle there. Hit by Murdoch, but he'll pick up about 4. So now 37 seconds left, and NIU's going to use that one timeout.
Charge timeout. Northern Illinois, their third and final of the half. Please adjust the game clock to 39 seconds. 3-9. Thank you.
Again, if you're Buffalo, you can't allow points here down this final drive.
Look at the protection, though. I mean, the ability to go through the protection. He goes through 1, 2, third receiver. You can't do that if the protection is leaky. So, again, we talked about the offensive line sort of hitting their groove. It starts with the run game, right? And once you start lathering up an offensive line with a consistent running game, they feel really confident and they start really doing great in the pass game as well. It's like a center in basketball, right? You get him a couple touches down low, then he starts playing great defense. Well, it's the same thing with offensive line. You get them revved up running the football, then all of a sudden, man, that pass blocking is great too, and it gives a tremendous amount of time for Hampton to go through his progression.
You like the basketball convo with Ontario Brown earlier this week? You was talking about how he's like a shorter guy with a quick crossover move.
Yes.
There
it is.
Go back to him, and there's his crossover move. Hits the edge, put his foot in the ground, and works up ahead.
He said he loved watching AI with that unbelievable crossover. He said setting up defenders is like playing one-on-one basketball on the wing.
Going pretty quickly here. No timeouts left. Hampton somehow kept that play alive, threw it into the dirt with 27 seconds left.
Well, he was looking to take a shot. He had man coverage on the outside, and the pass rush showed up for the Bulls. So you want him to move off the spot. He's a pocket passer, talking about Ethan Hampton. But look at the one-on-one basketball. I mean, he just has the athleticism to be able to change direction without having to slow down very much. And all the great ones have that ability. And obviously, Allen Iverson, boy, with the ball in his hands, he was unbelievable.
So they mark it at 24 seconds left on the second quarter clock. That throw incomplete. Receiver in the vicinity was Rudolph.
We're starting to see this Bulls pass rush show up, right? That's the second time the quarterback's affected. That time they put him on the ground. I missed the number on that, but great hit. And now that's something that can stay in the mind of Ethan Hampton. You want to hit the quarterback as much as possible, not just to affect that play, but begin to speed his clock up, internal clock, and maybe make him force some bad throws.
We'll see if they try to do it again here. 3rd and 10. They do rush 5. Good protection. Going to be a short gain and a big hit to finish things off. So a bit of a statement on that final collision. Remember, Northern Illinois has missed a field goal in this game. From shorter range than they're currently at. Clock is ticking right now. 4 seconds. This is going to have to be the final play if they get it off. Now the whistle blew there, and this should be the end of the half. So we'll see if they didn't get it off in time. Here in the stadium, the clock's at all zeros.
Wow. Got to get that ball snapped.
Once they end the half, they end the half. So 14-3. Buffalo at least some momentum heading to the locker room off that final stop. Coach Hammock trying to maybe clean up the timing of it there with Ethan Hampton.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity. You got to get that ball snapped.
Really good crowd on hand as expected. Northern Illinois coming off their biggest win in program history over Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. Had a bye week coming into MAC play. And Thomas Hammock said as much bearing as that win over Notre Dame had, as emotional as it was, as impactful as it was. This game matters more when it comes to winning a championship. And with the new expanded college football playoff going to 12 teams this year, we know a group of 5 team will get in. Northern Illinois right now with the best resume amongst those group of 5 teams for that spot, but a lot of work to do until they get there. Ethan Hampton brings them back out. The most efficient QB in the nation up to this point. And Terrio Brown, a back that's going to lead to some excellent balance all year long.
Yeah, that's the whole key. If they can get this running game established against every opponent, Ethan is going to get better and better because he's going to see boxes of 8 and 9 people trying to stop Antario Brown.
They really can grind away at you too throughout the course of a half. But Buffalo with some fresh legs out of the locker room and right away looking pretty fresh on an important sequence defensively. It's George Wallow who comes up to make that ankle tackle, an experienced guy, 5th-year senior, all 5 in the Buffalo program.
Where if you're a Bulls fan, you like that. Coming out of the locker room, understanding that your offense has not been able to possess the football, the play count is mounting for your defense. Great job on 1st and 10 to get a TFL by Wallow, who's an excellent player. He's an NFL prospect because he's very twitchy inside, very active, big guy.
They bring Williams in motion, fake it to him, dump it off to the tight end instead, and Murdoch is able to make the tackle. Connecting there with Tavis. That is the linebacker duo. You got Murdoch, you got Dolak. Those two were excellent as per usual in the first half.
Yeah, had a career high last week against UMass. 12 tackles in that game. Also had a sack, 3 TFLs, and a quarterback hurt. Both of these linebackers are stat stuffers. They do a little bit of everything. And Red Murdoch's just a sophomore, 6'3", 235 pounds. He's going to be playing on Sundays before it's all said and done as well.
Northern Illinois is 50% on 3rd down in the opening half, went 5 of 10. Here's their first 3rd down of the second half. A low throw, incomplete. McNair was on the coverage, and that'll be a 3-and-out. So the Bulls defense gets the job done after they were looking for Barnes. Now, big question mark is what can your offense do with what could be some good field position here?
Yeah, need some complimentary football. But I got to acknowledge Kobe Stewart's pass rush right there. The Bulls pass rush began to heat up at the end of the second quarter, right? And now Kobe Stewart in the first third down gets a hit on the quarterback and creates an incomplete pass.
Victor Snow is back, and he will return this, takes it out to the 40. So now, again, you get some of your best field position of the day to begin this half. Defense does the job. What do you want to see again for C.J. Agbana to do a little more of it in the second half?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get comfortable in his passing game. I want to see, first of all, him running the football. I think you can get him going with some option plays, right? Some read option, and let him get into the ball game that way. And then even in the passing game, let's boot him outside the pocket, get away from his pass rush, get him on the move where he then has another option to run it or pass it on the edge of the defense. But he's just too dynamic with his legs, Jason, to keep him in the pocket.
We'll stretch it out, hand it off. Block set up on the outer edge there. Going to Messiah Birch, the redshirt freshman from Staten Island.
So go with a jet sweep, trying to get the ball on the edges of the defense. I like that. Test the edges. They have been playing really offense inside of a phone booth within the tackle box. Let's test the legs of these defensive ends and linebackers, getting them, running them to the perimeter, and see if we can break a tackle or two.
Back to Birch, patiently running to the outside, going into the depth of that running back group that lost a good chunk of yardage a year ago. New faces stepping into that backfield this year for Buffalo. Their lone win over a ranked opponent as Birch goes down here. Came against Ball State back in the 2008 MAC championship game. And now both teams will go to their sidelines. Just got Birch holding that knee. We're going to step aside and check on Messiah when we come back. Trying to find a way for his offense to sustain drives. They're 0 for 8 on third down right now. That's been the big stat, but this one shorter than they've had to deal with throughout the course of what was the first half.
To be better on third down, you got to be better on first and second. They've done that now. They got to pay it off. The entire playbook is available here, especially at this time, this area in the field. This is 4-down territory, in my opinion. You got to find a way to get a yard and a half.
They brought Jenkins in motion, go up the middle, and where they're marking it, they're going to have to go for it on fourth down, and it would go to now 0 for 9 on third down, despite having a 3rd and 1 there.
Again, no movement up front, and you got offensive linemen going laterally, and you got defensive linemen pushing them back. That was a great job by Skylar Gill-Howard to get penetration and force the running back to cut back up inside to red jerseys. I'm going quarterback sneak. There's no way I'm turning and handing this ball off if I'm the Bulls.
Like you said, feels like they need to go for this. A second push, then the ball came out at the tail end. It looked like Agbana tried to stretch for the marker, and the ball was jarred loose because of it. Who recovered, and where was it recovered?
First of all, the defensive line got out of their stance, immediately pushed CJ back, and he had to try to lunge with a second effort to get the first down. And
the signal is that it's Buffalo football and a first down.
The initial push, boom, pushed him back. Nice job by Agbana trying to find a way, and how is that not Huskies ball? How did they not get this recovery?
Escaping disaster by a hair.
Well, you know, I think, you know what it was? It was Amari Knighton deciding, trying to,
For Buffalo.
as we hear the officials saying it's first and 10 Buffalo, but I think that's Knighting not falling on the ball. When you're in traffic and you have a loose ball, Jason, you jump on the ball. You don't try to pick it up. He tried to pick it up. His teammate knocked it out of his hands, and that's why the Bulls were able to get it back. All young players, when the ball's in traffic, fall on it.
Now they'll pitch it out. Sperling gets hit. Valcarcel was leading the way along with Knighton again there. but you're inside of NIU territory. You've had one field goal, then a turnover on downs. Trying to capitalize here will be very vastly important for Buffalo to begin this half.
Yeah, again, you're resetting downs now. You got to be efficient on first down. Was not a great look on first down, just getting 2 yards. You need 4 or more yards here to set yourself up for 3rd and short.
They've got vertical threats. Haven't seen this often today. Victor Snow's the intended target. Did he come down with that? Or was it picked?
Oh,
no,
wow.
A touchdown! Nah.
Oh, my goodness.
Launched it down the field to Snow. They said they needed to win some one-on-one battles. That wasn't one-on-one. That was like 1-on-3.
That's right.
And he pulls it out for the first Buffalo touchdown of the game.
And we talked about the 50-50 balls. They've been very successful in the games, the first 3 games of the season. And now this is your #1 receiver at this point. 5'8", finding a way to make a play between 2 defenders. And how about the pass, though, by CJ? I mean, he dropped that thing in a thimble-sized hole for a beautiful touchdown, much-needed touchdown by the Bulls.
Belenfant coming out for the extra point. Gets it. 1 possession game, Sayoka. Because of this, what a grab.
Well, sometimes guys get open, and other times you got to throw them open. And that's exactly what C.J. Agbana did, dropping that thing in. And the Bulls are back now. Close. And we'll be back.
All right, Tina, 6 is hard to beat.
Definitely putting yourself at the top of this list despite the percentage numbers here.
You and I think that should be a reshuffle.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, 24%, and you lost your big game against Oregon, and NIU knocked off a then 5th-ranked Notre Dame team at Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about that one. I'd switch it up a little bit.
Remember all those Boise State years, though, were like back like 2010s? If there was a 12-team playoff back then, Boise State would have been in it almost every year.
And I think the computer knows that.
Yeah, they're giving them a little payback.
There you go.
All right, there were some words exchanged on the teams running off the field kickoff. They're going to be careful of seeing some penalties.
It's been chippy.
Already. It's been chippy.
Yeah.
It's a MAC opener. It's Buffalo. It's been talked. Buffalo hasn't been talked about all week. Northern Illinois has been talked about the last couple of weeks. The Bulls come in here upset-minded after Northern Illinois pulled off the upset heard around the world a couple of weeks ago in South Bend.
And look, the Bulls have been disrespected even in the preseason. They were picked to finish 10th in this conference. And I understand why, new regime change, a lot of new players. But this does not look like the 10th best team in the conference to me.
Especially not this defense. They look fantastic. Hampton, a dart. Oh, he threw it behind him. And boy, if they had hit Barnes in stride there was a lot of room to roam. Looks like Gavin Williams.
And you talked about the #1 quarterback in passing efficiency in America. But I just cannot stress enough what the pressure does to a quarterback. We talked about those hits and the quarterback remembering that. He rushed that throw, Jason. You got a wide open seam player. How do you miss that? Well, you get hit a few times. You begin to think, I need to get rid of this ball before I get hit again. You start seeing ghosts, and you get incomplete passes.
Had been very efficient up until really the last couple of drives. So now they hand it off, and the defense is ready, especially out on that edge. Murdoch in the mix to finish it off there.
Yeah, great
Devin
play.
Morgan, your guy.
Yeah, great job by Devin there. DMV product. His dad was a linebacker in college. His brother, John Morgan III, played at both Pitt and Arkansas, was in camp with the New England Patriots. So he's got football up and through his blood.
And now if you're Buffalo, you're also thinking of getting a stop here and having some good field position for the offense.
Yeah, so they gave up 50% efficiency in the first half. They're up 0-1 in the second half.
They bring the heat again on 3rd down, squeezed it into a tight window for Cam Thompson. A gutsy throw brought down by McCarthans, but not after a significant gain of 18 up to the 44.
Now that's the Ethan Hampton I saw on film. Watch him fit this in a tight window you talked about. That's a great throw. Had that ball been behind, it would have been incomplete.
Moving and grooving with some pace now. It's Gavin Williams bursting up the middle. They're going to mark him down. Gain of 9 after the gain of 18.
Before losing the ball. Second down.
But this ball has been out multiple times from backs from NIU, and guess who was at the bottom of the pile? Sean Dolat. I mean, so not only does he make tackles, he forces fumbles, especially he and Red Murdoch we talked about all day. You'll see them around, but they're very physical in attacking the football when they're making plays.
They bring Brown back in. Go right back to him. Up the gut he goes. 14 carries, 59 yards, couple of touchdowns. Today for Brown, adds 4 more onto the total for another first down.
This is one of the offenses that you don't see run all around the country very much. They get in 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends.
They'll get in fullbacks in there too?
Fullbacks. You ever heard of a fullback in this day and age? Are you kidding me? I mean, they got, really, their fullbacks are basically H-backs. They play fullback, they play tight end, but they use multiple big personnel people. And here's another Wildcat set.
The patience from the man they call Slime because of his elusiveness and ability to wiggle. Antario Brown.
Well, look, he can be patient all he wants, but if you don't get number 52 block, it really won't matter. and we talked about his ability to be patient as fast as he is. Watch him slow down and find it, right? But then there's that number 52. Where you want to go, he'll usually be there, so you better make a miss or break his tackle. Good luck with that.
Kind of does a step ladder drill, doesn't he? He's like he's going through the step ladder.
And that's a drill that you see running backs do, and there you see it happening in real life time during the game.
Fake it to him, set up the deep shot, downfield. He wants Thompson! Broken up, incomplete. Marquise Cooper on the coverage.
That's a coaching tape on how to play one-on-one versus the 9 route, the fade route, or the deep ball, the bomb, if you will. Cooper's in man coverage, and the number one thing he does is be in great position and doesn't panic. There's some hand fighting going on, but as long as both guys are doing it, you won't get the flag. Great job by the Colgate transfer, Marquise Cooper.
He had the 100-yard pick 6 last week, 8 tackles as well in that game against UMass. He was put on scholarship in the fall. Guy who walked on, just an incredible story. And the defense flying in the backfield. That is Deion Crawford, literally like a Superman tackle. And a loss of 2.
Yeah, Jalen McNair right there. Beautiful job of getting in the backfield. This is 4th down now. And I think this is a situation where you have that quick kick. Again, look for that.
And Buffalo has no one back.
Yeah, this is, and when he backs up like that, to me, this is quick all day. I don't think you're going for it here on 4th down. We'll see.
Did this earlier, did it a couple of weeks ago against Notre Dame. They pinned one at the 1 earlier in the game. Let this one roll down to about the 6 is where that initial touch.
If Ethan Hampton can play golf the way he punched the football, did you see that side? Man, he needs to go to the PGA Tour.
I'm out on the field.
Let's go to our next segment, Ferris Calls.
We welcome you back to the Cavs, 6:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. Look, Jason, you know I don't like showing a lot of love to punters, but this is a quarterback. And when your quarterback can punt the football inside the 5-yard line and then come back and do it again inside the 10, I have got to acknowledge it. I have no choice. The more you can do, the more I like you. Ethan Hampton is doing it big, and don't mistake the idea that eventually down the line they're going to do that on 3rd and long and really put a team behind the 8 ball.
So now another deep shot, flag. We'll see if this is pass interference. Again, the deep shot is what worked out on the last Buffalo drive. Wanted J.J. Jenkins that time, a guy who they want in some of those one-on-one matchups.
100% pass interference. There's a lot of contact made downfield.
Pass interference, defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
We talked about it earlier. A lot of times defensive backs panic when they've got one-on-one. You don't have to panic when you're in great position. If you're getting beat, yeah, please push the guy. But if you're in great position, just keep your hands to yourself, turn and run. No need to push on the receiver. You're giving up an easy 15-yard penalty when it would have been incomplete.
They brought in Jacob Finley there at corner, something to watch. First time we've seen him in one of those spots today. And now they'll try to stretch it out with Snow. Not much real estate on the edge.
Yeah, that's the option I talked about. I wanted to see them testing the edges of this defense with an option play, and that time the Husky defense was where they needed to be. You're talking about assignment football when you're running the option, and that's a great job by Jacoby Finley coming up, getting off the block, and making the play.
Buffalo team with a lot of new faces this year. 18 transfers, 35 freshmen. Gelling the chemistry together on the move in their first MAC game with a lot of these new players. You mentioned an issue in the opening half was not having good chunks on first and second down. Going to get third and medium here.
Yeah.
But they're 0 of 9 on third down so far.
So number one on this situation, you see them go with tempo. They're going to get this front block. And this tempo is helpful because now they can't sub in guys like Nave Sanders to rush the passer. So can they block this base front? I like the idea of going tempo third down.
Pressure comes. Ball was batted at the line of scrimmage. 0 for 10 on third down, but you're still just within 4 points away from tying this game. So 5:41 to go in this third quarter. Somehow you've managed to overcome the third down woes.
Yeah, Damon Taylor stoned to the line of scrimmage, but again, get your hand up. If you're not getting penetration, if you're not getting into the backfield against the pass, get your hand up, and you can bat a lot of passes. C.J. Agban is only 6'2".
Ethan Duane, who spent 3 years at Old Dominion before transferring, will boot this away, and it's secured by Partridge on the fair catch.
I like the idea, though, of the Bulls to go tempo this so they couldn't sub in their pass rush front and then still unable to get the first down.
Now Buffalo defensive coordinator Joe Bowen watches defense come out. He's been giving them Kobe Bryant quotes throughout the week. We were talking to him in his office. He had the Kobe book behind him.
Right.
Wants to keep the consistency of show up every day and be who you are. So now the defense has been the group that has been the MVP for Buffalo today. They've been able to get some pressure on Hampton these last couple of possessions. Sidearm sling to Brown. Squaring up Murdoch, got past him. What a move, and some tap dancing up along that sideline for Ontario Brown.
Football is the ultimate team sport, right? But so often it comes down to the one-on-one matchups. And here you have two of the better football players doing what they do. And there is the crossover, the AI crossover against one of the best tacklers in America. Great job by Brown.
He wants all the ankles, all the smoke he can get. He does go to practice.
Yes, that's the difference. Practice?
We're talking practice. They get Rudolph here, and he spins up ahead, brought down in the backfield. Nice play from Deion Crawford.
Boy, that's a great job. You called it nice play by Crawford. He's the alley player in that situation. You're unblocked, be aggressive, come downhill, and make the play. If you don't make one-on-one tackles in space against the Huskies, you're going to struggle defensively. But so far, the Bulls have done a great job of that today. What do the Huskies do offensively to get back on schedule after TFL? I say you run the football with Brown. But that's Williams in the ballgame.
Yep, they bring him in. And for a second, it looked like a rare empty backfield, but then they brought him over to run it up ahead.
Gavin Williams said, look, I can run the football too. So that's positive yards. Still third and long now. Now, what do you do if you're the Bulls? Haven't had a consistent pass rush early in the game. Lately, though, the pass rush has begun to heat up. I think you rely on that four-man. You found a four-man rush. I think you rely on that. There's no need to bring pressure. I think you go zone behind that and ask this four-man rush to get after Ethan Hampton.
Both of these teams aren't afraid to bring it on third down. They do bring it. They brought it from the backside. It is caught, exposing them in the passing game on the blitz. Really good job to stand tall from Ethan Hampton there and connecting with his target. First time today, Dane Partridge makes the grab.
Well, that's the danger. You try to fool the offense by bringing pressure, but you had better get there. And he was a step and a half behind, he being Charles McCaughrins. Great job by Hampton, staring down the barrel, taking the hit, but delivering an accurate throw across the middle.
They brought the house, they brought the gamble. 24 yards on that last gain, and now set up shop here at the 25 of Buffalo. Brown is the back. Got hit from behind by Dolak.
Wow. You know how much fun I'm
How does he
enjoying.
get there?
I mean, how does he get there? First of all, the defense does a great job of tying up their offensive line. I mean, that's their job number one. They tie up this offensive line so that number 52 and number 2 can be free. If you leave 52 on block, he's going to make the play. The question is how many yards? Well, that's another TFL from an inside linebacker because he plays downhill. Give me guys that don't sit back and wait, that are aggressive and come downhill to make plays, and he's generally not going to miss the tackle.
For the Buffalo defense, bare minimum trying to hold them to a field goal, which would keep it a one-possession game. Rudolph makes the grab, can't squeak out of the tackle there, out of the grasp of you know who. It's Dolak.
Say it again.
We don't even need to say it. I think the fans know who's made the tackle by now. But, yeah, I mean, he's been awesome today again.
I got to find a way to run plays away from him. He's passed the test. I'm not testing number 52. I'm going to find a way to get someone else one-on-one, and let's see how they play. Because I know what Dolak can do, and it's usually going to be bad for the offense.
Had a school record 97 solo tackles last year, Sean Dolak. The former walk-on, former zero-star recruit out of high school. Grew up 15 minutes outside of Buffalo. Here's a dart over the middle. What a collision was that hung on to. Wow. Somehow was by Partridge, who's made a couple of big catches on this drive. May have gotten the wind knocked out of him. That is the definition of a tough catch.
Well, you want to play college football, you think receivers are just prima donnas, you got to be tough.
First down.
I have no idea how he held onto that ball. First of all, he double caught it. He missed it the first time on his own, caught it the second time and got hit hard.
And he did get the wind knocked out of him there, definitely. Jonathan Capo came in and hit him hard. I don't know how he hung on, like you said. Now it's Northern Illinois and Ethan Hampton. They were looking touchdown initially, then just check it down. Go to Lynch, who gets swung down. Solomon Brown on the tackle. Continues to be a really important chess game here down in the red zone.
You called it. They brought in big people again, and this time they go the old spider 2-wide banana, where they go play action and try to sneak the tight end on a banana route or a corner route. That was covered. The back out of the backfield was the only thing left. Nice job of checking it down, but that's really good eye discipline by this Bull defense. Play action, hard play action generally will fool you, not that time.
Thomas Hammock, the head coach for Northern Illinois, strolling the sidelines, watching his group, trying to punch it in. They have twice today with the ground game. And Terrio Brown, who has both of those touchdowns, scooting ahead as the clock ticks on the third quarter in this MAC opener for both teams.
Quick quarter, huh?
They're putting the fours up, Tayoka.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's that type of ball game. Who's going to be able to execute when it matters the most in the last stanza?
4-point game. Put the fours up. Fourth quarter, 13. But now you got to try to win against this Buffalo squad that's under the radar, but showing up and playing some excellent football. Red zone opportunity. These are what separates these conference games. Hampton back to pass to the end zone. He goes. That is incomplete. A low throw.
But why? Why was it a low throw? Again, the pass rush of the Bulls is heating up. Watch the shot Ethan Hampton takes just as he's trying to deliver this football. I mean, he gets hit right in the chops. When you hit quarterbacks, it doesn't matter if it's Ethan Hampton, Dan Marino, whoever you want to talk about throughout the history of football. Hitting quarterbacks is always bad for accuracy and completions.
31-yard attempt hasn't been a guarantee today. That is good. Cannon Woodle able to knock it through after he missed one earlier in the game, but it's a win for the Buffalo defense because you keep it a one-possession game.
No question about it. And you just hit it right on the head. I am so impressed defensively of how these Bulls continue to answer the bell, right? This has become a heavyweight slug match. Body blows being thrown with the running game. Some haymakers landed with some big plays downfield. But ultimately, defensively, whoever can make the most plays in this fourth quarter is probably going to win this game because it's so tight.
Head coach Pete Lembo for Buffalo. His defense came in only allowing 18 points per game into this MAC opener. That ranks third among MAC teams to this point.
The game clock to 14:51. Thank you.
His defensive coordinator, Joe Bowen, who spent the 2021 season as a defensive assistant at South Carolina, was on the same staff as Pete Lembo there when Lembo was an assistant at South Carolina. Thomas Hammock's team will kick it away. Woodle boots it away. Have not had many returns today.
So defensively, if I'm NIU, I'm saying to my guys, we need to win on first and second down. We've shown if we win on first and second down, we dominate on third. When we're not effective on first and second, they can get first downs and string together a drive. So obviously that's the most important thing defensively going forward for the guys in red shirts.
So the lone touchdown today for Buffalo came on a deep shot, 40+ yards. Victor Snow made an incredible catch that'll certainly go down in the highlight reel of the season for Buffalo. We'll see if they try to get Snow involved again. Agbana, who won the QB competition out of camp, hands it off. Big push back from the NIU D-line.
Yeah, I admire the patience of Dave Patno, the offensive coordinator of the Bulls. Continue to try to run the football. Call it. Don't allow this defensive front to think they can tee off as you see the Bulls line up with some tempo.
Agbana flips it out this time. Al-Jay Henderson, wearing the number 41 this week, pushes ahead. Really good yards after the catch that time from Al-Jay Henderson.
And that's basically a sweep, Jason. That swing pass with big guys out in front blocking little people, that is just like a sweep play. It's just as good as a run game, and that sets them up for third and minuscule. That's where this Bull offense wants to be.
Yeah, third and about a half inch to go. 0 for 10 on third down today, and that includes even a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and remember, they got the 4th down conversion. That's how they would keep the ball.
Yeah, 2 4th down conversions today.
Now it's going to be interesting to see if they stay in this shotgun. I'm thinking dive right up in the middle.
It's Henderson on the dive that you asked for, and they'll move it ahead, grinding it ahead.
See, defensively, you don't want to guess, but you anticipate things based on what you saw in film and based on how the flow of the game is going. I think early down passes, this is when you can catch this NIU. They're playing run on defense on first down.
They get Victor Snow involved, had to elude the defender, trying to create some space. A little jump cut up ahead, and this should be, if not a first down, very close.
Yeah, he's so elusive. So elusive and so smooth. Again, at that size, you better be, as we got another flag, another post-snap penalty. But the elusiveness of Snow in the open field, something to watch.
That was Opong who was reaching out, trying to grab him, but couldn't get there, and now there is a player down.
Defense, number 6, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
All right, so big penalty on Muhammad Jameh, and it's going to be an automatic first down. Some more yardage
Timeout for an injured player
as well on that penalty, and we will take a break with an injured player down in the field. And to wrap today, Bowling Green in a Sunbelt and MAC crossover there at 5 p.m. So catch all the action on ESPN Plus. Also next week, I mean, it's a big week in college football. You got the Georgia-Alabama game. At this time, it would be number 2 versus number 4 in the country. SEC on ABC. Both of those teams have bye weeks this week. And that is going to be a clash on ABC. 2nd and 1 here. And after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, you see where Buffalo's set up. A 1st and 10, beg your pardon. So now 2nd and 8.
Big down. You got to be efficient on 2nd down and set yourself up on 3rd down. That's how they're showing they can move this football. What do you dial up here? I think run is a bad option. I think you get this quarterback on the move. Get away from this pass rush.
They're trying to capitalize on this opportunity and potentially tie this game. Vertical threats, one-on-one. Looking for Brutch. Couldn't quite find him. Out of bounds.
Well, that coverage by Jordan Hanson was absolutely stellar. Looking for Birch on the wheel route, out of the backfield. Terrific angle. And again, not panicking on the deep ball, keeping your hands to yourself and winning with position. Huge play in this ball game right here, Jason.
Just 1 for 11 on 3rd down today. Up to run it, and a big gaping hole up the middle. New ball game. Henderson goes the distance and a chance to tie.
No flags. What a play by Henderson, but the offensive line set that whole thing up with a gaping hole, and to me, that was a play that you're looking to set up for a field goal. But number 41, Al-Jay Henderson says, no, forget the field goal, I'll pop it for a touchdown run.
What a call on 3rd down, the down that they had been struggling on all day. Pete Lembo in his first MAC game as head coach of Buffalo. What a call, what a run, what a touchdown to potentially set up a tie game here. And we do have a Buffalo player injured back at the 41. And we're going to take a break and come back here in DeKalb. They're 1-16 all time against ranked opponents, but an opportunity to tie this game in the 4th quarter of the MAC opener. Maction is back.
If you're not familiar with MAC conference football, this is it. This is how it's played. Tough, usually evenly matched teams.
Big extra point for Bellin fans. Got it. So Buffalo is trying to spoil what's been a party around here all week at NIU. I mean, they've got the celebrities coming in after the ranked win a couple of weeks ago, the biggest win in program history over Notre Dame in South Bend, number 5 at the time. And they're eating good, Tayoka. They're eating good. This is TikTok chef.
Big night tonight. Got a phone call to feed some hungry boys, so let's do it. Ooh. Yeah. Love it. And we're going to eat some buffalo steaks, aren't we? That's snack on some buffalo, baby. Go Huskies.
That's TikTok chef cooking with Daryl. And he comes in, NIU alum, pumped up, serving the buffalo steaks, the Polish sausages. He's cooking with the players. They were cooking the last couple of weeks, but now they find themselves in a dogfight.
Well, listen, you and I are hungry boys. Where's ours? I'm just being honest. I'm a little disappointed I don't have any of those buffalo steaks.
The 2.9 million followers on TikTok. I mean, I feel like maybe one of those followers could have brought us up some food, you think?
Exactly, and it won't be 2.9 in 1 because I'm a little upset. You know, I get a little sensitive when people deny me food. So I'm a little angry with Chef Daryl. We'll talk about that after the game, though. But I'll tell you right now who's not angry. Bulls fans. they've showed up. In this second half, they've cut down on the penalties. They've heated up a pass rush. And offensively, they've been better on first and second down to set them up for multiple third and shorts to keep drives alive. That's a recipe to get back in the ballgame.
So Ethan Hampton back out onto the field with his offense in this tie game. They go up the middle into that D-line for Buffalo, and a defense that you played the position. Does it then jack you up a bit more when the offense gets a touchdown like that?
Sure it is. I mean, that's exactly what happens. You know, complementary football. You need your offense to show up and do their part. Now you're saying, okay, we make plays, it will pay off. And so no question about it. You want to be competitive no matter what the situation is, but we're all human too. When we see good things happen from our teammates, it inspires us to do better.
Roll it out this time. Pressure coming from McNair. Got it away. But Adam McNair in his face all the way there. So this is the downs now. They're trying to flip Buffalo in their favor. Those first and second down set up third and long.
Yeah, I talked about the versatility of McNair. He can be in the box as a box defender. He can be a safety and he can be a corner. This time, he just comes on his own. He had no responsibility coverage-wise. You got a quarterback running out of the pocket, and he puts the pressure on and makes the play. Great job setting up third and long.
Buffalo's looking for the first 3-1 start since 2020, and just the third time as an FBS program since 1999. Northern Illinois hasn't started at 3-0 in a decade. A dart, what a grab there, reaching out just past the first down marker. Looks like Grayson Barnes on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that's an excellent job by Barnes. So much of this stuff is timing. This is just a stick route. Beautiful job of running it out, just enough yardage to get the first down. You hate when you see receivers run short of the first down. He's past the line to gain. The ball's a little bit inaccurate, but he showed great ball skills of reaching out and making a great catch.
Barnes was a captain a couple of weeks ago. The senior makes a big grab. They needed 7, picked up 8. And now in the run game, stretching it out, it's Williams. A little dance with McNair out on the edge there. Another first down for Northern Illinois.
Yeah, they show you so many looks, Jason. We talked about the different personnels, getting in with big people. They do a lot of pre-snap shifting and moving. And this time they're bringing basically a jet sweep. This is 21 personnel. 2 backs, 22. 2 backs, 2 tight ends. Looks like it's going to be a downhill run. They bring a wing across the field formation, handed it to him on a sweep. Great job of execution right there.
Now back to the air. This ball was nearly picked off a deflection. Charles McCartherins was out there. It went in and out of the hands of Ontario Brown, who's usually very sure-handed.
Well,
that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, at first it went out of the hands of Hampton. So he fumbles the ball, gets it back, and then throws it out. It's like it's something on the ball. Oh. I don't know what's on the football, but both guys mishandled it, and they are lucky to continue to hold this football.
Then it slid off the helmet of McCartherins.
Yeah.
They got 2 backs in, Williams and Brown. On the plus side of the 50, trying to create holes. Again, Northern Illinois ranked number 23 in the country. We will have a group of 5 team in the playoff this year with the expanded 12-team college football playoffs, which is my favorite part of it. And for Northern Illinois fans who have been on the edge of their seats today and a bit more of a thriller than maybe even they anticipated, there is a lot on the line thinking down the road. Of course, for Thomas Hammock, their top priority is winning a MAC championship. It would be their first since 2021 if they can. Long way to go to get there. But they knew what they were getting into today with this Buffalo team that went under the radar in the preseason conversations. 3rd down and 11. It would be a big stop for the Bulls if they can get it. Hampton pressured again, and that once again might have been to allude to what you were talking about, Tioka, what's leading to some of these errant throws.
It's the pressure. And that time, again, it was another guy, but I can just tell you right now, Ethan Hampton has been hit multiple times. And that plays in the mind and heart of any quarterback. I don't care how tough he is. And so this is something that's shown up time in and time out by multiple guys in this front. And that time is Malin White coming around on the stunt to get in the throwing area of Ethan Hampton.
That ball will stay in the end zone. When Hampton's punted today, they've had 2 down inside the 10. I thought they were going to let him punt again, but they don't. And it's 17-17 Buffalo ball when we come back. Can't wait for December 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern time on ABC and ESPN. First round action also continues on December 21st. This is a game that could have implications on that playoff because Northern Illinois wants to be the group of 5 team that gets in. Right now, they're in a battle, 17-17 with the Buffalo Bulls, and this crowd is starting to get back into it. Agbana rolling. He likes to do that, just has to throw it away this time.
Terrific coverage downfield, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them get Agbana outside the pocket, rolling. And that time, the Husky defense was just terrific downfield. Nobody to throw it to. And they had pressure on the quarterback, so we had to throw it away.
Kind of a coverage sack there.
No question. And Jelani Williams was the late pressure, forcing the incomplete pass, obviously out of bounds. Smart play there by Agbana.
Now hand it off. Nothing there whatsoever. Henderson, who had the touchdown run in the last drive, gets knocked back.
And Jason, now you see the substitutions coming on the field. This is the front that rushes the passer.
Loudest this crowd has been all afternoon now. More pressure on the backside. Crowded to Cal approves. Neve Sanders on tackle.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm talking over you, which is all wrong, but I can't sit still. They can't block him. They're bringing him off the sidelines to pinch hit home runs. That's what sacks like this is, like pinch hit home runs. I don't need you in second down, 28. I need you rushing the passer on 3rd and long. We just need to get you there. He's unblockable right now.
Dane Partridge, the returner here, wants to set NIU up with some good field position. Fair catch. Fair decision at the 50.
But how did they get there? 1st and 2nd down defensive efficiency. They've shown it all game. When they are great on 1st and 2nd down, they're lights out on 3rd. If they're sort of iffy or not very good on 1st and 2nd, BU can move the football on 3rd and short.
Northern Illinois is very often in one-score games. Just happens to be their thing right now. They're 28-28 in the 56 one-score games they have played since 2016. And here we go again. Yeah. Here we go again.
They're comfortable in this situation.
These fans are comfortable being on the edge of their seats. They're going to slip off eventually. Fall. You got to be careful around here.
Do you take a shot right here with this momentum? Play action?
They've got the threats to do it. Hampton wants it on the sideline. Really good job to adjust to the football from Grayson Barnes. Gain of 14.
It's the back shoulder. When it's done properly, there's no real defense for it because the defender is worrying about the 9 route. He's worrying about getting beat deep. So when that ball is placed on that back shoulder, you can forget about it. It's going to be a completion as long as the receiver doesn't drop it, and Barnes does not. They really like Barnes. 6'5", with sort of long extension, catching the ball. He can do a little bit of everything. In this new era of tight ends, he can be an NFL player as a receiver.
Another one of those packages to set up a run with Gavin Williams. This time, a good chunk of 4. Again, you and I, the last time a team went into South Bend and upset Notre Dame on a big stage, it was Marshall a couple of years ago. We just happened to have Marshall the following week. They lost to Bowling Green, coincidentally a MAC team. Not easy coming off a big win like that against Notre Dame.
And they didn't have a bye week. And I think, again, I agree with Coach Hammock. That bye week allowed them to reset, because sometimes not clearing a win can be just as bad as not forgetting about a loss.
17-17. Back to the ground they go. Sweeping around the edge to make the ankle tackle there. Looked like Jalen McNair. So now brings up 3rd down.
Now here's UB's opportunity to get off the field. You're going to see the Huskies substitute. Let's see if we see the UB defense substitute and match personnel they talked about. That's important. Here's the substitution for the defense now. So now they've got their pass rush front end. Can they win like they've been doing consistently in this second half and get off the field on 3rd down?
A Buffalo team that came back from down 14-3 to tie this game 17-17. Looking for a big stop. Hampton looks one way, picked off, intercepted. It's Dolak heading the other way, down the sideline, trying to cut it back. Inside of the 20 he goes. Their MVP linebacker and the nation's leading tackler comes up with the biggest interception of his season so far.
Well, look, if you thought he was just an in-the-box linebacker, you're dead wrong. He can do it all, folks. He gets back in his passing lane and he catches the football. Think of how many defenders, Jason, get in position but can't make the catch. Not only does he make the catch, then he becomes the running back that he was in high school. Excellent job of getting to your zone drop, seeing the ball being thrown, catching the football, and turning into offense right away.
I love it. We talked to them earlier this week about when he played running back in high school. We didn't think he was going to maybe play a little running back today. Like he's got the ball in his shirt there, trying to keep it hidden. That's great. All right, well, here we go. Agbana using his legs goes down quickly.
That was a quarterback draw, but the defensive line of the Huskies said nothing doing. Great job of just mulling up, and there was nowhere to go for CJ.
Buffalo has not led today. Creeping up on 5 minutes to go. Both teams with all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout.
So it's really important for Dave Patnode and for CJ to understand where they are in this field. You're in position to take the lead. Don't do anything to put the ball at risk.
They'll tuck it, run with Agbana again. NIU defense there again.
You see, I'm okay with this call, Jason. We're in a point of the ball game where any points are at a premium. Now, you don't want to keep going backwards and make this a tougher kick. You obviously want the ball to be going forward, but I like the idea of not putting the ball at risk. You just need better execution from the offensive line and give your quarterback a chance now.
Jaden Dolphin made the big tackle. 3rd and 14.
So this looks to be 20 personnel, no tight end in the ball game, 2 backs. I expect a run again, maybe a quarterback run.
Running down to call a timeout was Coach Lembo of Buffalo.
Well, he recognizes the moment.
Please adjust the game clock to 4:12. 4-1-2.
Well, I mean, when he was the head coach at Ball State, 2011 to 2015, they had some big upset wins during his tenure.
I think he wants to talk about it because he understands that he needs to be in range to get a good kickoff for potential lead-changing field goal. So this is obviously a huge point in this ball game. Number one thing, though, is ball security.
Buffalo just 1 win versus a ranked team in program history, and that came in 08 in the MAC championship against Ball State. Northern Illinois searching for a 3-0 start for the first time in a decade. Every fan at Husky Stadium on their feet on this 3rd and 14 here.
Any positive yardage is a win.
Henderson had the touchdown run on the last drive, gets driven back here by the plow. Forward progress stopped. And remember, we mentioned there was a kicker competition going into camp with Buffalo between Nick Reed and Upton Belenfant. Reed is very accurate. Belenfant is the guy who kind of has the big leg. They made the switch to Belenfant, the Tennessee native, last week. Went 2 for 2. He's 1 for 1 today.
43-yard kick, Jason. He is, like you said, 2 for 2, but that's between 30 and 39. This is his first attempt beyond 40 yards. NIU was great at blocking field goals, blocked 2 against Notre Dame.
Trying to take the lead here, and there is a flag that comes out. Kick is good.
If this is against UB, that's potential disaster. They'll decline it if against NIU, though.
It's against Northern Illinois.
Is that roughing the kicker?
Running into the kicker. Defense number 5. The penalty is declined. The field goal is good.
Yeah, so that would have only been a 5-yard penalty. You got to decline that. Never take points off the board in that situation. Take a look at it and see how egregious it was. Yep, it happens.
So 20-17, Buffalo takes the lead, their first lead of the game.
Yeah.
With 3:28 to go. Upsets on their minds. And I mean, you got to give Pete Lembo and this staff a ton of credit. First MAC game with this staff. He met with every one of his players, a lot of new faces. Of course, all of the players getting to know him and his staff before the season. He asked them last year, 3-9 season, what was the good, what was the bad, what was the ugly? Then week 2, they went back and started watching film, and they said, okay, this is what we talked about. We're starting to see it here. We're getting better at it. We're working on it. This is what we're doing here. Now you go into this stadium on the road against the number 23 team in the country, and you're putting yourself in position to win a big football game.
Yeah, and we talked about it. He said one of the things that kept showing up for him was the players wanted to know that they cared, right? They wanted to know that the staff is with them, that they cared. Well, this is the type of football game where that sort of camaraderie and brotherhood shows up. Things weren't going great in the first half, but you tend to stick together when you're a tight-knit group and you understand that everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction. The coaches aren't against you. The players are not against the coaching staff. Everybody's together. That creates opportunities like this when you can hang in and maybe try to steal a game on the road.
Now Ethan Hampton takes back over. Plenty of time to throw, has to give it to his running back. And Brown, who made a man miss, and Dolak with the big interception on the last possession came up to make the tackle.
Yeah, see, to me, this is Terrion Brown time. I got to consistently get the football to my best offensive player in order to have the best chance to win this game.
Now Hampton, a guy who over the course of Christmas break heading into this year, he knew he'd be going for the starting job. He made note cards, every formation, memorizing the playbook. He was waiting for moments like this, moments like the one he had a couple of weeks ago in South Bend. 2nd and 9 here, 2:45 to go, 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. And they'll give it to the back again in Brown. Big collision at the end of that run.
The big collision was with Sean Dolak, 2 of the best football players on the field. But again, this is where you don't overthink it. Get it to Brown. Great job of cutting back and finishing this run off. This is his time in the ball game, folks.
Handed off again. It's Brown again. Northern Illinois seeking a 3-0 start for the first time in a decade. When you think of the new expanded college football playoff as well, this is a game that could have implications in the horizon of this season, this new era in college football. There's going to be a big final 2 minutes coming up here in DeKalb. All righty, here we go. 20-17 Buffalo. 2 minutes to go. You think the play count really interesting in this game?
Yeah, right now it's 73-50 in NIU's favor. And these plays start to mount up. It's like in boxing, body punches where they take the legs away from your opponent. It's going to be very interesting. We're at 73 plus, because here comes 74. As this play count begins to mount, how does UB get tested with those legs? Do they begin to get weaker as the plays continue to get increased?
Back to the air, over the middle, that is caught and complete just inside of midfield. Andrew McElroy for the first time today.
When you start to run the football, defenders begin to get tighter on the outside. Eyes go into the backfield looking for that run, and the slants become wide open.
Doug, I know you love boxing. The offensive coordinator, Wesley Bischoner, made a Mike Tyson reference last week. He said, one thing, you go up against Mike Tyson, you got to do a lot of different things. You got to mix it up.
Right.
As you see Brown down there. And he got a little dinged up, perhaps, at the tail end of that collision.
See, that completion is available, Jason, because the linebackers are tight to the line of scrimmage. They're concerned about the run game. They're concerned about Brown. And so that creates throwing lanes behind them. If you get accurate passes and you get well-run routes, there's opportunities to gas defenses down the field with the passing game.
.152 to go. 2 timeouts left for Buffalo. Remember, Pete Lembo ran down the sideline and called one of them. And Brown down at the moment here at Northern Illinois with all 3 of their timeouts. And inside of the final 2 minutes here on a first down.
Well, if Brown can't return, well, that's a tough loss for the Bulls, because they really like him. They say he's the biggest surprise on this defense coming out of spring, where he was hurt in the spring. Couldn't show him anything, but, man, he's really shown up in fall camp and in these first 3 games. Very consistent tackler and playmaker in this secondary.
Yep, we'll go out for at least this play here, see if he comes back. We're inside of the final 2 minutes here. Clock will stop when the chains are reset on a first down. Hampton in this offense, a little deja vu, trying to win a game again on a final drive. They'll step up, fake and slide down.
That coverage downfield was excellent. Hampton had nowhere to go with the football, did as best as he could, and that's the first down efficiency defensively that you want to see to get a team off schedule.
1:22 to go after the slot. Clock ticking. Back to Brown. An aspect of the timing here. You have the 3 timeouts, but it's an offense that likes to move and groove on the ground. So they might start to have to use these timeouts pretty soon here. Good thing you do have all 3 of them.
Yeah,
and they're right on cue. You do.
Yep, there you go.
They're first. Please adjust the game clock to 1:12.
By the way,
thank you.
16 tackles for Dolak now. 16 and counting.
Racking them up, the nation's leading tackler, plus the interception.
That's right.
That led to the now game-leading, what they hope could be potentially a game-winning field goal. But you see Dolak, his numbers throughout the course of the season. This, of course, the biggest game out of the 4 you see in the graphic there.
What was he doing against Lafayette? He was loafing. I mean, 11? What is
That's an
that?
off day for him.
16, 16, 16.
Well, he's definitely bounced back today.
Man, and again, he's not a one-trick pony. He's not a one-down backer. He can play on every down because he understands zone drops. He's been around for a long time. You can't trick this guy.
You can't make this stuff up. College football, you're so unpredictable. You just never know. 3rd and 6.
Biggest play of the ball game right here.
Hampton looks one way. Pressure coming from the opposite way from Fuqua. Then he gets ripped out of bounds by Murdoch. And now 4 down territory for the ball game.
No doubt. Again, the secondary play couldn't be any better. Very good time to throw the football, though. Offensive line showed up. He just had nowhere to go with this football. Now what do you dial up? Nice job of getting positive yards by Hampton. Now this is 4th and manageable. So the playbook is wide open. Middle of the field is wide open with this much time left. I don't think you can run the football here, but I got to find a way to get it to my best athletes. Brown should be an option as well.
4th and 4, trying to extend the game. Hampton, quick throw, complete, first down. A lifeline, and it's the second connection with McElroy.
They got zone coverage. They went with all hooks. Love the play call. Great job of executing under duress by Hampton.
Under a minute to go. Chains reset. Clock starts again. Down 3. Right at field goal range. Hampton, another throw, another completion. Clock will keep moving unless they call the timeout. It's McElroy again. Whistles are blowing. And we do get a timeout.
30
So
seconds.
right now the Bulls are content to rush 4 and play zone coverage behind them, keeping the ball in front of them.
So biggest play of the game right here.
Well, and the protection, that's where it starts. Clean pocket, and so now he can watch the hook routes and read the defense. He's looking at the middle defender. Wherever he goes, he throws it the opposite direction. Obviously, it was a catchable ball. Nice execution.
This is what you live for. Conference play. His back, my friends.
That's right.
Ethan Hampton doesn't want 3. He wants 6.
Who can execute in the tightest of existences in the ball game? The pressure is high. Who can focus and do exactly what you've been practicing? It's easy to do it when the game's not in doubt. Harder to do it now.
'56 one-score games for Northern Illinois since 2016. Most in the FBS. Hampton back to throw. Look into the end zone. Flag goes flying. Could be pass interference. And the most crucial penalty of the game. McElroy again was the target.
Yeah, it looks like he came through the back, trying to reach around and make a play on the football, and I think MacArthur's made some contact from behind.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Wow.
So first of all, you got inside leverage. You can't let the guy cross your face, and that's where he's lost right there. See how he let the receiver cross his face? You can't allow that to happen. And he knew he was in trouble right there. That's a great route by Andrew McElroy to get inside. And now that sets up a really good situation for the Huskies. 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line.
Every soul in DeKalb standing up. Every body in DeKalb has a heartbeat that's racing a little faster than usual right now.
If I'm the Bulls, I'm rushing the passer. I don't think they can run this football with this under 40 seconds left.
Hampton, that ball dangerously deflected over to the sideline and out of bounds.
Wow. All these guys standing up, they held their breath right there collectively.
A lot of hands on top of heads, almost like they're winded around here.
Woo!
They're losing breath around here.
Woo! Take your breath now.
Heartbeats.
We've seen multiple batted passes, though. Again, we talked about it. If you're not getting a pass rush, that's when you get your hands up. Can this protection hold up when they need it the most, Jason?
2nd and goal. Hampton, that is broken up. Excellent coverage from Sean Dolak, who's playing like the best linebacker in the country today.
Yeah, Ethan Hampton, I mean, that's Sean Dolak. Test someone else. He's going to answer the call. I got to find someone else to test. This man coverage across the board, especially underneath. I'm going somewhere else. He's not going to be out of position, and he's not going to foul.
Would you have run it there?
No, I'm not running the football. I'm throwing the football, no question about it. But I'm also trying to spread this defense out and look over the middle.
Chess match. And a timeout from Buffalo.
30 seconds. Charge timeout. Buffalo. Their 2nd of the half.
I mean, to continue on that question, though, I mean, certainly
not a lot of time, of course. Could you have run up? I don't know. There's not a ton of time to do that. I was curious with how successful Brown has been today. He's got the 2 touchdowns. Didn't know your thought there.
The idea of running the football makes a lot of sense because I think with their substitution, Buffalo's in pass rush mode. It just makes me nervous that you be getting, if you don't get it done, if you don't score, you're in scramble mode now.
Right.
That's when things get a little hectic. So I would be concerned about that on 3rd down.
First time as a ranked team since 2013 for Northern Illinois. 2-0. Buffalo, new head coach Pete Lembo. I mean, this is a Buffalo group that is coming here as an underdog on the road. Only one ranked win in program history back in 2008. Northern Illinois on the ropes. 32 seconds left. 3rd and goal. Down 3.
Got to find a way to get your best players. That's Rudolph and Brown. Get the ball in their hands.
Hampton, their experienced quarterback, rolling out. Plenty of time. Good coverage, though, downfield. Just has to throw it into the turf. And now the mindset goes to game-tying field goal.
How outstanding has this Bulls secondary been the entire 4th down? I mean, again, the offensive line is doing this job. Take a look at Hampton. He goes through the entire progression. There's no one to throw the football to. And smartly, he doesn't put the ball at risk. He understands the situation. But, man, that is unbelievable coverage downfield.
Cannon Woodle hit a couple of weeks ago at Notre Dame, what turned out to be the game-winning field goal. Today he's trying to tie it. And he does just that. 20-20.
Well, the Bulls defense came into this game not great in the red zone. But they showed up today. Just think of this, Jason. In 7 attempts inside the red zone, they've given up 6 touchdowns. That's not very good. But none of that matters today.
Have stepped up to the plate. 20 all. 24 seconds left. Could we be destined for overtime? That's Solomon Brown, who's down in the field.
Well, he's been down a couple times, and he's gotten up and continued to play. We talked about his toughness and consistency. Was injured during the spring. Didn't see a lot of him.
A key part of their defense, described as kind of what's been their biggest surprise guy of the season. So if this goes into OT, you definitely want him out there for your defense. Minnesota transfer in 2021. Pete Lembo had no doubt the mentality his guys would bring on the road today.
Brown's walking off under his own power again. Don't be shocked if you see number 7 back in this ball game.
This Buffalo team, one of their helmets, not today, but one of their helmets has the 716 area code, the Buffalo area code on the side of it. They truly play for the city of Buffalo. You know, Sean Dolak, who's made big plays today, a walk-on guy, Buffalo area native. He said he wants to finish his legacy and play for kind of the kids of Buffalo who oftentimes go under the radar recruitment-wise. So they love pulling off upsets.
And Coach Lembo talked about we don't do a lot of slogans and all that stuff, right?
Right.
We're about just coming to work every single day and putting our best foot forward. Not that there's anything against teams and who do that. A lot of teams have won a lot of games doing it that way. That's just not the Pete Lembo way. We just show up and work and play.
Still got 24 seconds and 1 timeout. They feel Belenfant has a big leg. But they would need a pretty big play before setting him up.
Well, and they like to go downfield with 50-50 balls. I mean,
1-1 earlier with Victor Snow.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with you taking a shot on 1st down to see if you can get yourself something. Maybe you get a pass interference or maybe make a circus catch or something like that. But, I mean, certainly they don't want a disaster on their own 25-yard line with a tie ball game with less Then 30 seconds to go.
They're coming off the 34-3 win over UMass. Lost to a top 10 team in Missouri the prior week.
They're going to kneel on this ball, looks like to me.
Play for overtime.
Yep. As the road team, I'm okay with going to overtime.
Here we go. Extra football. Action has returned with some punch.
If it's free football, you know my motto, if it's free, it's for me. You know how I am.
I know you're frugal.
And I'm usually, and it's usually when it comes to food and getting food at these stadiums, but, you know, the chef let us down. But, again, I'm not hurt about that. I'm not upset.
Sounds like you are,
well,
but you're not hurt about the free football that's on the horizon.
Give me all that I can get, please.
Head up to the buffet. We got some extra football coming your way.
The end of the fourth quarter.
End of regulation 2020. Here we go.
No question about it. No question. And I think we might have a chance to watch it live, which is super exciting. But why is it so important? Because if you win the coin toss, you get to decide who gets the ball first. And the conventional wisdom says allow your opponent to get the ball first so that you can get it second and know exactly what you need to do to either win the ball game or extend the overtime.
Ben, it's been a great game. Overtime rules, each team's going to get one possession for the 25-yard line. The winner of the toss is going to be able to choose offense, defense, or direction. Again, here's the coin. The MAC logo is heads. This side is tails. What is your call? Tails is called. It is tails. You have won the toss. First. You want to go on defense first? Means you're going to go on offense first. Which end of the field would you like to play? Okay. Northern Illinois first down at this end. Good luck.
Those were the two captains, J.J. Lippy for Northern Illinois, Sean Dolak for Buffalo. You heard Buffalo won the toss there. Like you said, they opted to defend, playing the year formula. And here's the overtime rules. So we just saw the coin toss. Now each team gets possession from the opponent 25-yard line. You get to the second overtime, you have to attempt the two-point conversion after the touchdown. Then the third overtime to avoid those marathons is now the alternating two-point conversion. So here we go. Buffalo on defense first. Northern Illinois will take the field on offense with Ethan Hampton. Finds himself once again in a clutch situation. Thomas Hammock trying to lower the heart rates of these Husky fans that have come out today and got a great game. Maybe a little too good for their liking.
Right. So the personnel is going to tell you a lot about what NIU's thinking. And they're in 12 personnel. I think they're going to run the football here, folks.
That's Rudolph they keep bringing in motion. Now up to hand it off. Dolak on the pursuit. Right up there with speed. Right after win the coin toss, get an interception, then go make a tackle in overtime.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep this guy off your All-American list. And again, he had a blocker assigned to him that time. He just ran away from him. His ability to diagnose and go without any hesitancy is amazing.
Career high 18 tackles now for Dolak. And it drops, importantly, Northern Illinois back to 2nd and 13. Screen set up. It's Barnes on the tackle.
I'm sorry, Jason. What number 52 just did to a potential blocker. I mean, I want guys like this. He chooses violence at every opportunity. Watch number 52 and what he does to this blocker to the right side of your screen. That's unfair. So not only did he destroy the block, he still goes and makes the play. Give me linebackers that choose violence, and I'll find a way to win. Not on the field only. Off the field, be a pacifist. On the field, I need violence.
Just like you. 19 tackles and counting here for Dolak. 3rd and 10. He's made both plays so far in the first couple of overtime downs. Hampton hit as he threw that. One-on-one battle out on the edge. And defensively, it was Charles MacArthur. And remember, he got hit with that PI call. Tail ends of regulation, comes up with a big play against McElroy. Those two have been lined up against each other. So if you're the Buffalo defense, you did your job. You're forcing the field goal. The offense is trying to go win it with a touchdown.
Well, as big a play as that was, the pass rush was just as big. I believe that was Kobe Stewart coming around that corner with a tremendous outside rush to force an incomplete pass.
Cannon Woodall. Oh, that was blocked. That was blocked. What a play out on the edge there. Marquise Cooper makes the play.
I saw the get off, Jason. That get off was tremendous. Watching him, he's like a rocket out of his stance. Now the question is, was he offsides? And there's nobody throwing a flag, so I guess he was not. That get off was unbelievable. That kick was blocked at the snap. What a tremendous play by Cooper. Wow. And remember, NIU blocked 2 field goals against Notre Dame. Now they're a victim of a field goal block in overtime.
Deja vu, flip the script was the theme for Buffalo today.
Yeah.
Now, you can win this with a field goal.
Unbelievable. Yep, and that's the point. That's why you choose defense when you win the coin toss. They went with tails never fails. It worked out for Dolak. He's been hot all day. Why not? Now you need a field goal only. That takes a tremendous amount of pressure off the play caller. He can do whatever he wants now.
They'll just hand it off here to Henderson. Stopping the forward progress, and you wonder if that is the mindset, how close you just try to get here to set up Upton Belenfant. They used 2 kickers at times. Nick Reed was the kicker to begin the season.
If you were going to go play action, I think that was the down to do it, Jason. I think you stay away from it here.
They bring Schnackenberg in motion to block. Get a few more yards, seem to be deliberately running along the left hash.
As a play caller, as a coach, you never want to outcoach your own team.
Yep.
Right? You want to allow your players who've worked so hard to decide the football game. And I think this is exactly what's happening here. Coach Patino, the offensive coordinator for the UB Bulls, is doing exactly what he should do in this situation to put his team in the best position to win the ball game.
Opt to keep it on the left hash again. A dive ahead there for Agbana.
CJ, stay up. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
Right,
the room.
and I know what you're thinking. But stay up. You're still running. Oh, my goodness.
But instead, the mindset at the end of the day was to set up Upton Belenfant. And because you blocked the field goal attempt from Northern Illinois, you can go ahead and win the game right here on the road as the underdog. Belenfant hoping to be the hero.
They better block this front, Jason. Again, NIU, as they call timeout to ice the kicker. They're excellent at blocking kicks.
They did it against Notre Dame. Can they block another here? We talked about this with the head coach, Pete Lembo, who you see on your screen there. In the Notre Dame game, they mentioned the fact that Notre Dame didn't get some of those kicks up high enough, so they're looking to get them up high enough.
Now, you look at this 3rd down play. Does anybody tackle? Well, no, that's the 2nd down play, I believe.
I know what you were referring to, though. The 3rd down, the 2nd down, 3rd down run where you're trying to get it up ahead, and you think maybe he could have gone.
Yeah, CJ, and I know he was anticipating being tackled up inside. He didn't want to lose the football, trying to gain extra yards, but I don't think anybody tackled him.
So now, nonetheless, Belenfant on the road. Buffalo, a pretty heavy underdog today. Belenfant for the win. Got it. Upset complete. First win over a ranked team since 2008.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Agbana says, you know what? I'm going to put it on my kicker. And Belenfant says, please do, because I'm going to answer the call.
What a game, college football. You are so unpredictable. Wow. Down goes Northern Illinois a couple of weeks after beating, at the time, 5th-ranked Notre Dame. It's the Buffalo Bulls who spoil the day in DeKalb.
I literally have goosebumps. Watch the snap. It's not great. But the smooth operation takes over, and Belafonte has ice water in his veins as he splits those uprights. And that is one of the bigger wins that you have ever had in your program, Buffalo. That's how you start conference season.
First MAC game for Pete Lembo as head coach of Buffalo, and they come in here and do that. Absolutely incredible.
The ability to win the moments in the second half especially. They deserve this win. That was not given to them. NIU played well enough to win the game, but Buffalo won the